I just wake up in the morning and I yell a lot, even though it's way too early. It's fun though. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Wake up, wake up, wake up! We back like we never left. That's right. What is up? What is up? Hope you guys all had an outstanding Christmas. I am John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life, and you are up way too early with Garage Gym Life for some reason, and I'm so glad you guys are here. I want you to know if this is your first time stumbling across us, I appreciate you giving us a shot today, and I promise you, you are in for a good time. So what this show is all about is we are this is about fitness related content from a home gym perspective, and we get your live reactions to the topics that matter to the home gym community. So whether you have been a part of that community for years, or you're just now joining that community, or you're just curious about what it means to be part of that community, this is a good starting point, right? Not necessarily a stopping point, but it's a good place to start, because you're going to find out who we are, what we value, and you're also going to learn about deals and other little things that you may not have thought about. So this show is unlike any other that is on, to be honest with you, any social media or streaming platform. And I am extremely proud of it. My name is John Greaves III. I am the co-founder of Garage Gym Life. I'm going to be your host today. We're going to be riding all the way to the 9 o'clock hour. So the first thing I need you to do, if you've been watching YouTube, you kind of knew this was coming, but I need you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Because if for some strange reason you decide, you know what, I really didn't like that content, you can always unsubscribe. But this way you don't. What happens sometimes is people start watching the show and they get into it, and then they forget to hit the like button, they forget to subscribe, and then they go away, and then it's like, oh well, what was the name of that channel I liked? I want to go back and see more. So there you go. Hit like, hit subscribe. That way YouTube will start basically showing you guys our stuff, and you'll never miss a single episode. We are today marks 52 straight episodes of this year. We've not missed a single episode since we started this show a couple of years ago, and that's something that I am extremely proud of. That we are I committed to not missing a single episode of this show for at least the first 5 years. That is probably not something that you should promise even yourself, but it's something that I promised, and I am committed to doing it because I truly do value hanging out with you guys every morning. Let me tell you what is going to be going on today. So in the first hour, which is now, we'll have news and other things. I'll tell you guys what's going on, all the stuff that has come across my desk. And then in the second, and then at 6:45, again, keeping in mind some of you are watching for the first time, this is going to be when we're going to do Recliner of Rage. And that's basically when I crash out about something that other people may find irrelevant, but I don't care. It's a painful subject for me. It's always a painful topic for me. And then this is my safe space. This is my safe space to share that information with you guys. And then y'all laugh at me about it, right? So it's one of the most popular segments of the show. Then in the second hour, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, we're going to say good morning to the Central Time Zone, although some of you from the Central Time Zone are already here and have likely been here for quite some time. But in that second hour, we're going to be recapping some of the most impactful events of 2025 with my wife, Naomi. And then in the third hour, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, or I'm sorry, 8 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, time zones. 6 a.m. Mountain Time. I guess technically it is 7 a.m. Central at 8 a.m. Jake Jaworski is going to be joining the show, and Jake's going to not only recap HomeGymCon 2025, but he's also going to give us a preview of HomeGymCon 2026, so you guys can start making your travel plans. I think you should be making travel plans for HomeGymCon already anyway. If you are, if you're watching this show, you should be planning to go to HomeGymCon, because not only am I going to be there, and what could be better than more me? Seriously. But you're you're going to get more of what this show gives you. So what we try to do is give you an overview of what the home gym community is about. There you get to experience it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it is definitely a good time. So you're going to be getting that update and that preview in the 8 o'clock hour. Okay. So told you all that. Let's go ahead and see who is here in the live chat. Let's go ahead. And so first thing we always got to find out is who was here first. All right. And let's see. First in the building is my guy, Carlos. Carlos is first guy. Round of applause. That's right. Carlos was here at 3:44 a.m. And I actually believe that. So unlike certain people, not knocking anybody who likes to kind of log in, because I provide the link early. And so some people, certain persons who shall go unnamed, like to log in and they'll post like a, like a little thing, say, hey, good morning or whatever, so that they can say they were first. And then they go away, right? But Carlos, he'd ride or die. All right. That's A1 since day one. Okay. So and he also apparently is an insomniac because he wakes up and then when he gets so bored, he can't stand being up in his house, then he'll say, all right, it's 4 a.m. Let's go outside. And he'll be out there in the mean streets of Houston walking around. So Carlos says, happy holidays to your mama and them. Wake up, wake up, wake up. That's right. That's right. What's up, my man? Then also friend of the show, and we are friends of his. I am a proud member of the FOC, the Friends of Carp. Carp's Gym showed up. He said, yep. Y'all ain't subscribed to Carlos and Carp on YouTube. You need to definitely subscribe to them. Subscribe to their channels. Then my man Trevor has arrived. My man Trevor T-Dog 19 is in the building. See, here's the thing. So they're already answering the question of the day. I normally wait to post the question of the day until the show's starting, but I was like, you know what? I see him in here when I was doing finishing up my show prep. I said, let me go ahead and put it in there. Immediately they start answering it. I'm like, y'all got to wait till the show starts because those comments don't count as engagement. Just a little behind the curtain. Those comments don't count as engagement if the live stream ain't on, right? Because it says, comments that happen while the stream was live. But it's okay. It's my fault. And I still appreciate your input. And we're still going to talk about your comments. We're still going to jump into them. All right. Especially yours, Carp. That's because when we went to your house, I saw what you're working with. And pause. And I think, I get it. The same thing we're saying. All right. Oh, the bad guy has arrived. No Fate 24/7. My man Jonathan, Merry Christmas, Jonathan. He said, no Fate channel, checking in to see who made the nice list. All right. Hey, I know what made the nice list, and that's this mic, because hopefully my mic sounds nice. Check one. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, we got a new person in the building. Let's see. George Risto said, Merry Christmas, everyone. Just saying hi before the kiddos wake up and I turn this off because they're always up way too early. Hey, look. As long as you come back and you watch the replay, George. And Matt, this is a good time to say shout out to the replay gang. Appreciate everybody in the replay gang who tunes in and watches this show on a regular basis. Shout out to y'all. You know what? There we go. A round of applause. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Let's see here. Yes, there is going to be a HomeGymCon live show, Trevor. Definitely. You know that. Let's see. All right. George said, I always do. Hey, my man, I appreciate you. Okay, so there's 800 of you guys watching right now. I need every single one of you to do the right thing, as I started out this show saying, because we want more people like George and Carlos and Carp and Trevor and you guys to all be here. And so do me a favor, once again, hit like, hit subscribe. And if you're already a channel member, I need you to if you're already a subscriber, I need you to click that join button and become a channel member to support the channel. It's only 99 cents a month, but we give you guys access to a lot of content. We're exploring some more things that we can do for our channel members going into 2026, but that's something we'll talk about a little bit probably in next week's show. In any case, it is now time for our first official segment. So let's go ahead and dive headfirst into news and other things. Ready? Let's go. Okay, so we begin news and other things with the question of the day, which in the is already in the live chat, but I'll go ahead and I'll put it up here on screen. Question of the day is, what do you still need to add to your home gym after Christmas? All right, so you get your Christmas wish list, you try to drop hints to your relatives. Sometimes they ignore you. Okay, most of the time they ignore you because they don't know what half of that stuff is. And so instead they get you some junk that you sometimes you don't even understand. But the beauty of that is usually just about every store lets you do returns and exchanges. So that's one of the things that I am committed to doing today is not going to the store, because most stores are flooded with the return and exchange crowd. It's kind of like I do not go anywhere on Black Friday if I can help it. Right. I try not to leave the house because I still have vivid memories of Black Friday chaos. I ain't trying to be involved in that. Okay. Maybe if I had like some kung fu techniques I wanted to practice, sure. But nah, I'm not trying to do that. So I just stay home, and today is another great day to stay home. But that being said, you probably also, some relatives probably just gave up and gave you a gift card. So with that gift card money, what do you still need to add to your home gym? You might have all the money you need to add whatever you need. You may not. May not have all the money. It may just have given you a jump start. Regardless, it may be out of reach. I just want to know, what do you still need to add to your home gym after Christmas? Put it in the live chat if you're watching on replay. This question is obviously pinned to the top of the comment section. And so I'll just drop it in the comments so we know what you guys are still looking to add to your home gym after Christmas. And let's see here. So we already got some responses about needs and wants. Let's go to Trevor. So first, Trevor, I got to tell you, I don't have my glasses on. I can see, okay? Don't come at me. But I can see. But I thought this said I need a towel. And I was like, man, you know what? I can't get a gym towel either. All right, that's a whole little behind the scenes hatred right there. Naomi got 2 gym towels, just to let y'all know. People kept giving her gym towels. They gave her gym towels, but I only got 1. I got to wash it every time. But in any case, Trevor says, I don't need to add anything. I want a tower. That's very different than a towel. He said, I want a tower or an air bike. Okay. He said, my gym doesn't need anything else. I would like to add a rower or an air bike for cardio, though. And we got a rower down here. We might be willing to let you get your hands on. Let's do some negotiating after the show is over, as I have 3 rowers depending on what you need. Like, let's talk about your needs, wants, and expectations. We probably have just the right thing for you downstairs in the Garage Gym Life annex. Okay. Storage annex. I'll shoot you a text after the show's over. My man Carp. So like I said, Carp's Gym, he said more space. This is what I was referring to. He said, I want more space. That is interesting because your gym looks like it's got enough space for what you need. But we actually had an experience where, well, okay, let me just story time with Grandpa John. So my first home workout space was 2 70-pound dumbbells in a wooden box at the foot of my bed. I was living in a loft apartment, right? Then I moved to a small 2-bedroom house, and it had a shed. Home gym. That's at my first home gym, and that was out in the shed. Didn't even have a floor. Had gravel as a floor. But that's actually where I was lifting when I met Naomi. And I had many lifting sessions where I'd have like my headset on and I'd be talking to her while I'm lifting. Then Naomi and I moved into our first home together, and it was a single car garage. So that was our first garage gym. And then we moved into this house, which is a 2-car garage. So we immediately had more space for the home gym. So much space, we actually didn't know what to do with it. Like, there was like just stuff, just like, it was almost too big, right? And so we're like, when time came for her to start working from home, it's like, no big deal. And we just, put up a wall to her, dedicated part of the space to the office for her. No big deal. Well, immediately we're like, oh, I got to start being disciplined about what I buy because we're running out. We're gonna run out of space real quick, and that's exactly what happened. So I completely understand because you have to be very, very creative with your space usage when you have a gym like it. So just to let you know, our home gym is 16 by 25. Okay. And or the space is 16 by 25. And it's actually not a true 16 by 25 because we have like a little cutout. That's where the 16 is. And then it's actually 13 by 25 most of the gym. Okay. So yeah, everything that we have or want has to like fit in that space. And a lot of times we end up having to get rid of stuff to make room for the things that we're getting, which is why we have the Garage Gym Life storage annex, which is located adjacent to Naomi's office in the other side of the garage. All right. You didn't ask all that, but now you know. All right. You never know what you're going to get. All right. You never know what you're going to get. And that tangent is brought to you by the way my mind works. All right. Let's see here. Carlos said he wants a leg press and more space. Well, based upon our conversations, you may be getting ready to remedy that there, Carlos. So there, we're gonna stay tuned to that event. Stay tuned as the situation develops. But yeah, I remember you and I were talking about the leg press thing, and because you were talking about, I believe you're talking about the RitFit Gazelle. That's actually not too bad as far as space usage, but there are a lot of different other options out there. So just take your time. Take your time. And there she is. There she is. I need to give myself a little mental note. Yeah, a little mental note. All right. I ain't gonna tell you that. We're just gonna little mental note. All right. Then let me see here. What else we got? Carlos said, I'm so honored to be a witness to. Oh, you ain't talking to me, you talking to her. I know you are. All right. Moving on down. Let's see. Jonathan said, I love the joint holiday lift reel. Oh, okay. So for those of you who may not know what he's talking about, let's go over here to the Garage Gym Life YouTube channel where we will see said event. And you know what that means. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the first screen share of the day. That's right. I'm pretty excited about it myself. All right, here we go. So I don't know if you guys
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. There you go. All right. That's enough of that. Okay. There's only so many times you can watch me and her lift a bar. All right. It's a yeah, so it's funny how many people thought that was my idea. Where'd you get that idea? Nah, that ugly sweater, I forgot. I think it's actually, so first of all, I don't remember where I got it because I know somebody out there is like, where'd you get that? I don't know. I don't remember. But I'll be on the internet, okay? And I saw it, but I think it was supposed to I actually be kind of like, like a stadium blanket type of thing where it's designed to be a 2-person blanket almost. It's kind of like that idea. But of course, when I saw it, I thought of the possibilities. And that's one of the possibilities right there. Yeah, my wife does not like it at all. But I love her because she's always a good sport and goes along with it. So essentially in that video, she's a hostage. Okay. Yeah. All right. Carlos said, look at John being Santa adjacent. Hey, I bring good cheer. Carp said the problem with more spaces, you probably end up filling it too. Of course you do. See, that's the thing I didn't know. When we had more space, I was like, all right, we got too much, it's not a big deal. And to be honest with you, I don't mind that we dedicated that space to Naomi having a home office. It's brought so many more blessings than it has challenges. But if I just had that space back, we'd fill it a lot more intelligently than we did before. Because I mean, we had a sofa down there. It was just a bunch of wacky stuff. So yeah. Let's see. And George says a cable tower is next to my list, and he would also like more space and higher ceilings. So that's one thing that we're blessed in. From the top of our stall mats to the bottom of the ceiling joist, it's 100 inches. So that's about as high as I would want my ceilings. Because if it gets any higher than that, then you start running into issues with keeping it warm and cool. So keeping it cool probably isn't as big a deal because hot air rises, but keeping it warm in the wintertime can be a problem if the ceiling's too high. That's why I'm not I don't necessarily like barn gyms. Even if we had a bigger, more land, I still wouldn't want to have like those of you who've like visited Rory's place. That's probably like what I'd more like is he's got and for those of you who have not, he's got a building on his property, and the ceiling isn't super high. It's high, but it's not super high. That's more like something I would want. All right. You talk about I gave her the heavy side. It weighs the exact same. Why do I sound like Jerry Seinfeld right now? It weighs the exact same. And I weigh the exact same. Anyway, whatever. To be honest with you, she was telling me all the way up to us lifting it, she couldn't do it. And I was like, don't worry about what you think you can do. I'll tell you what you can do. And that's the thing. I got faith in her that can move mountains. So bam. I say, you just let me worry about what your capabilities are, because I believe in you. Don't worry about it. So let's see here. Talking about, all right, so there we go. Hey, don't you be talking about my sweater. Don't you be talking about my sweater. You just jealous. Hatred is such an ugly emotion, and so is jealousy. All right. Anyway, now let's go to the first thing I want to first news. I didn't answer the question myself. So the things that I think we need for our home gym, we need wall control panels for behind our power rack, because we have pegboard, and that pegboard is old. It's doing the job, but it's designed for tools and not very heavy tools at that. So we want to add to our wall control panel collection, get some bigger ones and put them behind the power rack. That's going to solve a lot of problems at once. Number one, it's going to give us additional storage. Number two, it's also going to change the color, the background of the color of the background, which is going to help us out a little bit in terms of filming. Because sometimes with the way, so as you can see, I got brown skin, and the pegboard's brown, and then the power rack is red, and I have like red tones in my skin. And so same thing with Naomi. And so when we film, we have to like get the exposure right on the camera we're using, or it can tend to kind of wash us out a little bit. So anyway, I know y'all didn't ask for that, but now you know. Knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Anyway, comment in the live chat. Comment if you're in the replay gang. Shout out to you, and comment in the with what you need to add to your home gym after Christmas. Okay. Now let's move on to the next thing, and this is going to be a shout out. Because let's move this right here. Yeah, it's going to be a shout out, and it is a shout out to. Let me make sure I got the sound off. Let's see here. We're about to find out if I got the sound off. Certainly don't. All right. Get you right back here. Boom. All right. There we go. All right. Let's do ahead and do this screen share. It's a shout out to my man over at Underrated Garage Gym. This is my second time shouting him out, as a matter of fact. But he got a PR, and we're going to watch it. Bench 325 pounds in his garage there. I believe his son is filming him, so let's check it out. Said it took him a while. All right, get that lockout. Oh, a little bit of a bounce and a heave. But we going. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Locked it out. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Now stand up like it's no big deal. Let's watch that again. bounced a little bit to get it off the chest, get some momentum going. Okay, no problem. This ain't a competition. Do so. You can do it how you need to. Down and up. Excellent. That's like the football style bench press from you know what I'm talking about? Like when the football team is trying to max out, the strength coach for the high school football team is like, hey, we gotta we want to see, because if you don't know, the strength coach of the football team, basically, if the players don't get PRs, they might get fired, and they definitely ain't gonna get a raise. So that's why the strength coach of the football team is always like on you guys for like on the players, like at the end of like training camp, like universally, everybody hit a PR. Okay. Which is, unlikely because that's not how strength training works. But yeah, that's why. Anyway, so that looked like a good solid, we all got together, we hyped him up, gave him way too much encouragement, too much pre-workout, possibly a whiff of ammonia. Now go do reckless things. And I've been there. I've been him. Okay. So shout out to you for that 325-pound bench press PR. There are people who wish they could even lift that off the rack and not die. So you are in rare company, man. Shout out to you. Underrated Garage Gym. You guys make sure anybody wants to see that. In fact, anybody wants to, I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. Because you guys go ahead and subscribe to him. He's a good dude. So I just posted the link to his channel in the live chat. You guys subscribe to it when you get a chance. And I will put the link in the video description, so that those of you, the replay gang, just go into the description on YouTube if you watch it on replay, and you'll be able to find the link to subscribe to Underrated Garage Gym. All right, because it's got some cool stuff showing him lifting with his son and whatnot. All right. Trevor said marriage advice. Women love it when their husbands tell them, don't worry about it, I'll tell you. So here's the thing. I only say that when it comes to in the gym, because here's the thing. The weights are, how Henry Rollins had that thing said, 225 is always 200 pounds is always 200 pounds. Yes, but your perception of the weight can lie to you, because think about it this way. How many times, and you probably identify with this, Trevor. How many times have you set up under the bar to do a squat and you're like, oh, that's heavy, right? But you're still, that feels heavier than last week or whatever, right? But you set up and you still get it, right? But up until the point when you actually started the lift, you weren't sure you're going to be able to do it because it felt heavy. So that's what I'm saying. That's what, especially in the case of a deadlift, a lot of, I don't want to say 90, a percentage, but a significant percentage of being able to deadlift something is believing that you can pull it off the floor. Because when you first start, because it's at a dead stop, hence the name deadlift. That's why it's called a deadlift, which is, let's circle back to a disagreement, a friendly disagreement I had with Kurt from the Kurt Locker. Shout out to him about what a deadlift was. And I'm like, it's called a deadlift because it's at a dead stop. It's called a deadlift, right? So when you go to deadlift something, you have to believe you can lift it. And a similar thing with the curl, because she had never lifted. We'd never done a tandem lift before. So I understand that because of it's a bar, when you go to lift it, I'm going to be lifting some portion of the entire weight, right? I was like, I know you can do this. And yeah. And the same thing happened when she went to deadlift. She was telling me how much she could deadlift. And I was like, no, because I've watched her deadlift. And I was like, I know you can handle much more than that. You can handle more than you think you can. And so, yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So long story short, I agree with you. And that's why I only say stuff like that in the gym. Carp said about wall control. He said there are some wall control affiliates and discount codes out there, but they change the discount codes all the time. Yeah, it's a I do a all right, let me put it this way. If you have one, Carp, or anybody, or if you're watching this and you have a wall control discount code, go ahead and put it in the chat. If one that works right now, I don't mind. And because I like to. We don't have one. We don't have an affiliate thing with Ball Control, so I don't mind supporting people. And I as much as I can, I'll use people's affiliate links. All right. Carb said it always feels lighter at HomeGymCon with your friends watching. That is probably yeah. There's a lot of truth in that too, because you lift more in competition than you do at home a lot of times, just because of adrenaline. I mean, I know some people who like lift less on the platform, but when that happens, to me, it's because your technique is probably sloppy, and the judges aren't passing what you consider to be a good lift. But in terms of just pure ability, yeah, that hype from the crowd is real. All right. So now let's go ahead. Now let's talk about some sales. So real quick, we've got. Did I do the right thing? I did. Look at me all ready to go. All right. So Fringe Sport is having a after Christmas sale, and I think it's funny because they have it's technically an after Christmas sale, but it's basically like you got money, but you didn't get what you wanted for Christmas. And that actually led to the question of the day. So they said, if you didn't get what you wanted under the tree, we got you. If you got money, you just got money, come over here and, you can shop. And so what they are offering, let's go ahead and head on over to there and replace that, move, and then heading over to fringesport.com. All right, so this is the best. So this is the Christmas sale, right? And it's basically stuff that's on sale. So if you didn't get this under the tree, or you got gift cards and now you want to spend it, these are the things that they recommend at Fringe Sports. So I know a lot of you guys are into the Dane. There's the Walrus single tower low row lat pull down, the Swan neck. But there's something else that just came out, and I was actually you know what? Let's pause here for a second. Talk about the silverback dumbbells. So you see like how, I don't know if you guys can see this, but you see on screen that some of that stuff is X'd out. So what happened is, and I actually think this is kind of cool, Tim Stewart, my guy Tim Stewart from Gym Crafter, did a review of the silverback dumbbells. So I liked the silverback dumbbells when I saw them at HomeGymCon in 2024. Naomi wasn't with me, so I didn't pull the trigger on buying any. And because any kind of large purchases, we got to both have seen and approved of the thing, right? So anyway, but Tim saw them the same time I did, right? Because he was there helping me out at that HomeGymCon. And so he went ahead and he got them. Well, when he got them, the ones he got had they weren't in the best condition. He did a review, and I got to give a shout out to Fringe Sport because they actually sent out an email, said, look, we just got probably the worst review in Fringe Sport history. But instead of trying to just hide from it, they said, okay, we're going to put these on sale and we're going to sell them to you at a discount while supplies last. And then when they're gone, they're gone. And so that's why you see some of these X'd out like that, because those are the ones that they're, getting rid of. However, get rid of that. So if you choose to grab some of these silverback rubber coated dumbbells, from a functionality standpoint, I liked them. And they are $12.99 right now with shipping included to the lower 48 states. But you got all kinds of stuff here. Trevor, you talked about air bikes. There's the Raptor air bike right there, $995. Got a lot of cool stuff. And then the Drew just dropped. That's the lat pull down extender. And I actually, when I saw it, I was like, this is, we've all seen stuff that is in different places. And I was having a conversation with Matthew Porter about it. And he's like, there have been a number of brands that have come out with this concept, but this is the latest one. So if it matches your needs, you go ahead and grab the Drew, which is a lat pull down extender. So those of you who already said that you got low ceilings may not want this, but if you're taller, like my guy Jonathan, No Fate 24/7, this is something that's going to help you out because you'll be able to get full range of motion, which can be a problem if you got longer arms. All right, then we've got some other things, and that is for this one, we're going to go to our friends at Bells of Steel. All right, so we've got a link to Bells of Steel in the description for the video, and you guys know that we have a we have an affiliate relationship with Bells of Steel. So if you guys want to support the channel, you can use, and I appreciate it if you do, you can use our affiliate link, and I'll go ahead now, just do this here. There, and this is our affiliate link right there. I just posted it it's already in the description, but I posted it in live chat as well. Any case, go to Bells of Steel, and when you go to Bells of Steel, what you'll find is they got stuff, and they have two different sales that are starting. So first thing is they have the Start Strong sale, and the Start Strong sale is going on, actually starts today. So the Start Strong sale starts today, and it goes through, it starts today here in the US, in Canada, and in the UK, and it runs through January 5th. Okay. Then they've got here we go. I just lost it. Sorry. So I moved it into a different folder. So I gotta make sure. So I go back. There you go. All right. So you get your Start Strong sale, and it's gonna give you discounts on a number of items on their channel. So basically, you're gonna get 10% off like the Hydra and the Manicure racks and attachments. So all right, so your Hydra and Manicure. Let's see if we can do it. No, power racks. Yeah, so you got your maybe if you want the Hydra Trident Station, or if you just want to go with like the there you go. There you go. You got, if you already have the Hydra, you want Hydra attachments, like we have the Hydra roller J cups. If you want to do that, you're gonna save 10% on any Hydra or Manicure racks or attachments. Okay. It's also going to give you 10% off of the Kraken, the Colossus, and the Colosseum. Okay. So let's go ahead and show you what that is. So the Colossus, that's the functional trainer. And so it'll save you 10% off of that. The Colosseum is going to save you 10% off of that. So let's show you what that is. And if you're watching on YouTube, by the way, you also can, I'd rather you go to the Bells of Steel website, but you can definitely go to the shopping button, because these products are going to be, that I'm mentioning from Bells of Steel, are going to be in there. So the Colosseum, we saw this at HomeGymCon, and it's got so it's $5,314.99. It's pretty much every single thing you would need. So this is definitely for people who've got space, but it's everything. It's an all-in-one system. You see, it's got the lat pull down on one side. It's got your single stack on the other side, so you can do like cable crossover type stuff. Got the power rack in the middle. Got plate storage. You know, all the stuff, excuse me, that you would need. So you'll save 10% off of those products: the Kraken, the Colossus, and the Colosseum. And then it's going to give you up to 30% off their cardio machines, 20% off the cable handle attachments, and then 25% off of like support stuff, you know, belts and wrist wraps and whatnot. As far as cardio machines, I'm going to tell you the Blitz. Well, if you are into like road cycling, not like you like just want something like, you know, like the Devil's Tricycle, right? You just want to use it like for conditioning. then you would want like the air bike. If you want to do like something that's close to like road cycling or triathlon training, you want to get the Blitz indoor cycling bike. And then there are a number of things that you can, you just literally watch YouTube videos to get like the spin class experience. And this is going to be a whole lot cheaper. And then, like I said, with that sale going, it's going to take this $666.99 price down to something that's not quite so disturbing. All right. There's that. Then, so yeah. So if you are getting ready to, I mentioned people who may be just now starting their home gym journey, this is really a good time. And I'll tell you that this time of the year is actually a really good time to be doing it because between now and January, you've got companies who are going to have after Christmas sales. And there also a lot of brands need to unload inventory so that they can get ready for what they're going to have for the spring stock. So this is a very good time to be setting up a home gym. And then, of course, you got like the used equipment sale market. All right. So there's that. And all right. Let's see. Oh, whoa. Carlos, man. Dude, thank you so much. Carlos, for those who don't know, we do accept super chats. Not only does it support the show, but it's just another way to kind of like show that you believe in what we're doing here. And so anytime somebody puts a super chat of any amount, as I appreciate you. That's for the $10 super chat, Carlos, man. I appreciate you so much. Anytime I see a question that's got a super chat, that question is going to get read first, just because I see it. Okay. Because you went a little bit above and beyond. So thank you so much for the super chat. And Carlos says, Merry Christmas. Thanks for making Fridays that much better. And that's really what I try to do, man. It's like, I want to make Friday, especially if you've had a tough week, you got to want to just like get a nice jump start, get the weekend going the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my intention. I was like, what day? Because I technically could have done this on on Thursday or Wednesday, whatever, right? And I said, no, let's do Friday because let's start the weekend off the right way, and so I appreciate you, and I'm glad that it's made a difference in your life, man, because you guys have all made a difference in ours. Like I get encouraged whenever I see you guys in the gym. I'm not in the gym, yeah. But whenever I see you guys like lined up waiting for the show to start, and then those of you who work out and have the show on, and then you post, that's what I was gonna say, in the gym. Like and then you post like videos on Instagram or whatever of yourselves in the gym with the show on in the background. That motivates me so much because I used to do that. I used to do that with other people's content. And so it just feels like it's come full circle. And so I really appreciate it. Carp said some of these companies will have Boxing Day and other spend your Christmas money type sales. 100%. Oh, hey, Carp. And once again, Carp, man, I appreciate you, man. Everything that you've done for the channel, just in general, in terms of spreading the word, letting people know about us, is hugely appreciated. And then this is like the icing on the cake, man. So thank you so much, dude. He says, show me the money. Hey, I never turn it down because it always goes to a good cause, always goes folded back into the channel, into trying to make content better for you guys. Because it's all about, to me, it's about creating the best experience for you guys so that you enjoy it. All right. So thank you so much, Carlos and Carp, for that support. Eric Echoes, another dude who supports the channel. I appreciate you once again, man, for going back and answering that person's question on that video. Eric is a taller guy. So the thing is, Jonathan's not hugely tall, but he's got longer arms. So that was his problem with even with like the Bells of Steel cable stack, single stack cable tower. He's like, he had to sit on the floor to be able to get full extension for the lat pull downs. And Carp said there's a website to get scratch and dent wall control too. Dude, hey, put all of that. I mean, I know that you're probably driving, so you can't do it. So stay safe. But yeah, if you want to, go ahead. If you got anybody knows about these websites, go ahead, put the link in the. This show is designed to be an information resource. So if you know of a website that can help people with that kind of stuff, and you've vetted it, don't send anybody on the dark web. But you can go ahead and put those links in the live chat, and I'm cool with that. Let's see here, scrolling down. All right, so we are closing in on, once again, we ran out of time, but I will say that Iron Bull Strength is also having a holiday sale. So you guys can go to Iron Bull Strength. You guys may know Iron Bull Strength is where we got the power rack that we have settled on. I'm not saying that we're never going to get another power rack, but I am saying that we have no intention of replacing it at this time. Let's just say it like that. So let me go ahead. I'll share the screen real quick, and then we'll go into Recliner Rage. So they're having a holiday sale. They are a Canadian-based company, so I believe it's like a Boxing Day sale. But anyway, so these are the deals that they have. It's 10% off plus shipping included on large orders. So anything over 5,000, it's going to be no additional cost for shipping on the entire order. Anything that's like if you customize your power rack with their rack builder, then you're going to get shipping included on the entire setup. So the rack builder is where you could say, okay, let's say you want to get the Frankenstein uprights or to add to your current rack, or you want to start from scratch and build a rack from scratch on their site. You're going to get that shipping included on the rack builder. You get 5% off if you spend at least $2,500, any order of 2,500 or more US. And then you're going to save 10% whenever you spend 10,000 or more. So you get 1,000 off of any order of $10,000 or more. That's a good one, especially if you are, I know some of you guys watching this are people who have home gyms set up for the purpose of training other people. So if you're in that situation, it's a tax write-off anyway, so it's a business expense. So if you're in that situation, this might be something that you want to take a look at. Okay, now it is now time. That's right. For the most popular segment where I crash out and I lash out. Time for Recliner of Rage. Let's go.
It's the Recliner of Rage.
It's the Recliner of Rage, 'cause he's not happy.
Okay. So today's Recliner of Rage is dedicated to my quest for a chuck for my impact driver. Some of you may not know what a chuck is, okay? But a chuck is essentially it's a thing that an impact driver, for anybody who doesn't know, is sort of like a drill and a battery powered drill. And so a chuck for it is a thing that you put into it to convert it so that you can use it to install and remove bolts with a socket. Okay, so it's like a heavier duty version of a ratchet and socket. All right. Okay, I needed a chuck because I had so our situation is we had an impact and I had chucks for it, but anytime we put together anything like the power rack or anything with bigger bolts, I wouldn't be able to use my impact or my drill / screw gun because I didn't have a chuck big enough for the sockets that fit that. So I was always have to go. So when we put together any of the power racks we've put together, the ones from like some of those Amazon companies, they come with like all different size bolts. So we were able to use the impact for those. I'm talking about serious racks. We haven't been able to use it. I've always had to go manual with the ratchet and socket because we didn't have a chuck for it. I said, all right, enough is enough. Time to take action. I need a chuck. So I said, all right, let's go get a chuck. Because not only do we need to take we need to make a serious adjustment to the Iron Bull Strength rack. It's not a problem with the rack. It's that so I started out with the PR2 rack, and then we had to go, then we upgraded to the Frankenstein rack. Well, I put it together, my friend and I put it together let's say, I guess incorrectly, because, well, and I mean by in terms of how we put it together, right? So we started from the wrong point. We started in the back and worked our way to the front. And I was talking to Isaac from Iron Bow Strength. He said, no, you got to start with the middle section. So what you had to do, we did this. You loosen all the bolts, and then you replace the uprights. But we should have started replacing uprights with the middle section where the rack header was. Instead, we started with back and worked our way to the front. So it ended up not lining up. And so as a result, my rack, everything is a quarter turn wrong. So what we had to do is go and loosen the bolts and turn everything a quarter turn to put the logo and everything, put everything right back where it's supposed to be so it's facing the right way, right? And I was like, this is, I mean, yeah, it's just 6 posts, but I don't feel like doing this manually anymore. Plus, I've got the Bells of Steel arm on there and my heavy bag so I can use my heavy bag. So I'm like, I ain't trying, no, we're going to use I need a chuck. We're going to use the impact for this. So I go to the store, Home Depot. Don't mean to call y'all out, but I'm going to go to Home Depot. And I say, hey, excuse me, I need a chuck and I even had the socket with me, the 15-16 socket. I said, I need a chuck that fits this socket. Okay. The dude should have told me, here's a phrase that would have helped. I don't work in this department. Let me get you somebody who does. Instead, he said, oh, yeah, I'll help you. We're like, well, and so he's walking me back and forth. Well, maybe it's over here. Well, maybe it's over there. And I don't know where it is because I don't work there. Back and forth, all over the place. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, I had enough. And I just like, all right, look, those sockets right there look like that's what I need. They're heavier duty anyway. And it looks like they come with what I need because they look like they had a chuck in there. So I just bought the whole thing. I didn't want a new socket set. I just wanted a chuck. But that's the only thing I saw that looked like it had a chuck in it. So I just grabbed it. Granted, I was mad and frustrated, so I bought it. I bought it in frustration. I was wrong. I accept responsibility for that part. But he frustrated me. That's his fault. I get it. Come home. All excited. Go grab my impact. It's been sitting on the charger all night. I'm ready to go. I'm activated. It don't turn on. So I don't even think about the thing I just bought. I can't get this thing to turn on. I said, well, maybe the socket wasn't working. Switch, like the wall socket. Switch to a different wall socket. No, everything's working fine. It should be charging. My dang Cobalt El Cheapo screw gun and the impact driver. I don't know if it was the battery or if it's I don't know. I don't care. They chose that moment to betray me. So I drove them to the dumpster and flung them into the dumpster, right? Because I was mad. I admit it. Okay, so now I need another impact and I'm gonna need another screw gun. All right, cool. Drive back to Home Depot. Yes, I drove like that. Drove to Home Depot. I got gangster rap playing because I'm upset. Get there, go inside, buy I go right there, and right there in the front, right there's a trap for the vulnerable. It says everything you need. That's what it said on it. Everything you need. I said, oh, they're speaking to me personally. So I went ahead and I bought it. Got an impact. It's got a dang case for it, like a little tool bag for it. Got a screw gun. Bam. This is everything I need. Matter of fact, I got those sockets at the house. I'll probably be able to bring them back to the house. Now I'm happy. Listen to happy music. Get home. All right. Boom. Ain't no chuck in there. Ain't no chuck in there. Ain't no chuck in there. Now, I don't feel comfortable asking for help because the last time I went in there and asked for help, he didn't know what I was talking about. So I called my brother. I not complain like I'm complaining to y'all. And he sent me a picture. I said, now, hey, man, I apologize. I was a little hostile. I said, I know what it looks like. He said, no, I know you know what it looks like. Go there and show them this picture. Don't describe it anymore. Show them this picture. Say, I need something this, but I need it in this size. You're a genius. Went there, all right? But I didn't do what he said. Instead, I went on my own because you can't trust the Home Depot people. And I went on through and I'm walking fast too. Walking through there, go to the tool section, and I get my chuck, and I get the one. And actually, I got 3 chucks, but by this time, I don't care. And I know 2 of the sizes I already had. So what? I bought it, came home. I didn't even go upstairs. I still have my, I have my go bag with me. I still have my backpack on my back. Walked right into the gym, and I don't care. And I'm there with my tools out And if anybody walk in the gym and you just see me standing there with a book bag on my back and frantically, angrily inserting the chuck in there and testing it and just to make sure it worked, yes, because it had got personal by that time. It got personal. And that's why I still haven't put the done the thing to adjust my power rack, because I got all that done the other day. And then all the Christmas stuff I had to do, so I had to put it on hold. So I'm just staring at my power rack facing the wrong direction because the dude at Home Depot didn't know what a chuck was. And he works there. He works there. So, Trevor, I see your comment. And I'm going to tell you that is apparently what the problem was, because we call it a chuck. Everybody who I've worked with when I was working power line, construction, electrical, when I was working in with electricians, all that, every construction trade person I know just called it a chuck. But what you just wrote there is that's what it's actually called on the package. But nobody cares what they call it on the package. We care about what we call it when we use it. Carlos, that's not helpful. He said the dude works in the flower department, in the floral department. See, that's the level of hatred I expect out of y'all, okay? That's why y'all don't understand my pain, because y'all put... Oh, man. Okay. I hear you, Trevor. What I'm telling you is I got the correct part now, okay? When I called my brother and said, hey, I need a chuck, he sent me the picture, and the picture is the thing I needed, so I got it, yeah. He said, Carlos said, I drove it to the dumpster like Wolf the cleaner. I'm telling you, I was mad, man. And I'm actually fairly proud. I was so mad I couldn't appreciate how far I threw it. I said, oh, yeah, my throwing's improving. Okay. So that was a good, yeah, that was good right there. Anyway, I want to see here. We're gonna go into the next segment. We're gonna definitely add because we're about to add LinkedIn, so y'all know I'm gonna have to calm down, right? I need to calm down. I can't, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and laugh at me a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna put this in the past because I'm going to 2026 revitalized and feeling, peace and peaceful and at one with all human beings. And so I just wanted, like, this was kind of like, it's like a cleansing breath. Yeah. It's like a cleansing breath. And I just said, okay, I'm going to just, yeah. And I feel so much better about the entire situation right now, just because I was able to share that information with y'all. Okay. Thank you. But thank you, Carlos. Carlos said my rage is still validated, which is all I wanted to hear. Okay. That's all I wanted to hear. Just don't try to help me now, because you wasn't there then. You wasn't there then, Trevor. Don't try to help me now. Okay. Now, we're going to add something here because I just thought of it. Literally, like right now. So we're going to do that. All right, we got it. 5, 4, and this is very important because you guys will see in a second why I need to do it. All right, there. All right, so we got it. All right, now it is 6:58. So let's go ahead. It's time to add our friends from LinkedIn, and let's go ahead and add them. Way too early garage and wire for. All right, let's. All right, let's go ahead and add LinkedIn. All right, it is 6:59, almost 7 o'clock. So shout out to the Central Time Zone, and shout out to all of you who just joined us from LinkedIn. 2025, as you know, was extremely eventful, and we, as a brand, we hit a lot of milestones, and as a community, in the terms of the home gym community, we hit a lot of milestones this year. So joining me to recap 2025 is my lovely wife and the proud owner of her own brand new Home Office Solutions YouTube channel, Naomi Greaves.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
And you see that? That's your new. That's what I was getting. Your new theme song.
Okay.
You want to hear it? Let's play it again. That's the theme song. Every superhero has one.
Oh, I think we need to get something that has more of a K-pop flair to it, though.
Yeah, it's not happening. That's
Yes. Yes.
We're not doing
I'm
that.
thinking something like
What we are doing is putting your YouTube channel as your handle so people know they can go and they can subscribe. And I encourage every single one of y'all go and subscribe to this channel. So subscribe to at Naomi Harris Greaves on YouTube. Now, if you just put in Naomi Greaves, it will pull up said channel. But subscribe to at Naomi Harris Greaves on YouTube. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm well.
I haven't seen you in an hour.
But I heard you. So
every minute apart from you is like an eternity of agony.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Stay on target. What's the subject right now?
First of all, we're going to talk about the fact that Carlos agrees with me and said that theme that I chose for you is baller. Thank you very much, Carlos. You just shot right back to the top of the charts in terms of ranking.
Read the next comment. Scroll down.
I don't see it.
Next one down.
I don't see it.
Well, see, I do. It's the next thing he said was no. Down,
okay.
Not up. Go down.
Say, oh, what did he drink?
Pause. No, go back.
You said, okay, all right. That theme is baller. What's going on? I don't understand what the problem is.
Carlos, I see it. Yeah. K-pop. Yes. Yes.
K-pop's not something that adults listen to if they love themselves.
I'm telling you, 2026, one of my other goals, anyone that knows me knows who my favorite group is. And so looking forward for concert tickets once those drop. So
are you really asking people for concert tickets at this very moment?
No.
This is not what we're doing here.
However, I will recruit that when those tickets do drop, I need everybody's hands to help secure.
Whoa, what? Pause. Hold on. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not need to. Okay, what? Hold on.
Oh yeah, let me take that back.
Yeah, heck yeah, all the way back. Right. Let's go here. Let's start over. We are off. We are completely off the. Yes. Trevor said Naomi is the real star of the show. You know what, Trevor? I'm a little upset with you. You didn't even compliment my lighting. All right, I didn't turn on the overhead light because I didn't want to disturb Joaquin. But granted, it's probably too late. But I was like, hey, I bet you I could use that other lamp over there because I improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I think it looked dang nice, right? To be honest with you, I feel proud of me. Anyway, but go ahead. You were saying?
Nope. We need to stay on top. Stay on task.
And that task is, that's right, we're going to show people your YouTube channel because this is one of the things that happened in 2025. You just started it, but you go right there. All right. So we got what we've been putting up are a bunch of home office setups. And then you do have one, you've got this right here, 3 desk hacks for instant focus. Some of you guys have already subscribed to the channel, so I appreciate that. And all that, but let people kind of give them an idea of what your channel is about.
It really is just about home office solutions. It doesn't matter if it's a nook in the corner of your bedroom or a redesigned closet that you've now turned into an office, or you actually have a dedicated office space with windows and everything else. It's where you're able to feel productive, get the job done, and it's your space. So that's what I'm actually highlighting. And then the tools to make it the perfect home office for you.
And she's actually going to one of the videos on we actually collaborated. So the Garage from Life and the Naomi Greaves channel are see you later, Trevor. Appreciate you being here, man. Shout out to the replay gang. So anyway, so you can think of it as like kind of like sister, brother brands or whatever, because I thought it was a really good opportunity when we were talking about it before we started the channel for Naomi to be able to show some of the products that we get invited to talk about that don't really fit with Garage Gym Life, but they're still obviously here at the home. And so one of the things that she's going to do is helping to upgrade this. It's not really, to me, this isn't a home office. We call it the office, but it's just a like what you call it, a nook. Like, Yeah, it's like a little nook here where I do the show. And the first thing I'm gonna say, and I'll go ahead and I'll do this right here so people can see it, is Naomi got me this microphone for Christmas. So you guys can hear that the sound is a whole lot better than what we were dealing with before. And that is all down to my wife Naomi getting me a microphone. She was even down to when I said I wanted to get a condenser mic, like with a little arm or whatever, so I can adjust it back and forth. And to me, it sounds a whole lot better. Is this so? Does it sound okay? Because this is our first time testing it.
Yes, you don't have to marinify it. You can kind of cut back a little bit. We can hear you loud and clear.
You saying I'm too loud? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Well,
don't make it poop.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I thought that it does a good job of, because some of that stuff happens on the show, and I'll peek out because I'll be yelling or whatever. And so I like the fact that it kind of like moderates it and then it keeps up with me. Yeah. All right, so let's go back. So let's get to this recap here. So the first thing that I thought that stuck out to me when I was thinking about this, and I've actually been thinking about it off and on, for the past month, is we got 52 episodes of this show.
Yes.
As of today, it's 52 episodes because there's one a week, 52 episodes every year. That by itself is huge. But the part that got me, and we were even talking about it on the way home last night, is obviously we're not always at home on Fridays because we have to go do things. We have to go. We'll travel with family. We travel to do live streams. As projects, or we get like side projects we have to go do. So we have live streamed from multiple hotel rooms in multiple places. We've been in the multiple hotel rooms in the South. We've live streamed from hotels on the East and the West Coast, and we live streamed. This was actually a highlight for me. We live streamed from our hotel in the world famous Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Yes. Out of those hotels, which one was the one that stuck out to you the most?
As the easiest setup or as the most challenging setup?
Just the one. Either one.
Well, because as soon as we get to where we need to go, I'm automatically starting thinking about, okay, how's the setup going to be, lighting, the whole 9 yards. I think the most interesting was Mandalay Bay, because I was also working at that time. Yep. So again, shout out to time zones. So I had to get you set up. We had internet concerns.
Yep.
And we solved that issue. And then you're doing the show. I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah, she was in the bathroom. I forgot about that. You were in the bathroom.
I was in the bathroom
while I was interviewing Phil from American Barbell. You were in the bathroom working.
And I was having to work, and I was on a conference call. In the bathroom. So that was that was interesting. And then
how about the one that we did in Virginia, where we had to start the show because we were arriving at the hotel to check in, and it was time for the show to start. So we started the show from your car. Yes. Yeah.
So again, I think it was shout out to Carlos to kind of keep the stream going, give me time to get everything set up in the room.
Well, I played your eye massager video.
It was that was that, and I think it was something. It was like, okay, coming, and then eye massager, and then I needed about 15. Was it 15 minutes?
Yeah. So we need about 15 minutes to start. That's literally, we went inside, checked in, said, okay, yeah, that's great. Went to the hotel room, and while you guys were watching the Naomi's eye massager review video, we were getting set up.
Yes.
That was crazy.
And then I'm trying to push things out the way. So there was a complete, whirlwind of equipment and everything that was to the side that I was, but you just saw John on stage. But everything, and I'm having a tiptoe so I wouldn't fall, because that's the other thing. I'm like, don't fall and make a big old, while you're live. So there's a lot of adapt and overcome when it comes down to setups. remotely.
laptops propped on. Like one time, my laptop was propped on. It was on the desk, but that wasn't high enough, so we had to shove. I was like, we got to find something. So it was like, just put stuff underneath it. We like leaning extra cameras up against stuff. It's if you look behind the scenes, it looks chaotic, but we've made it work 52 times.
Yeah, times 2.
Yeah, 52 times 2. Yeah, we've not missed a single episode. So I'm really, really proud of that. And then along with that, our in-person live stream show at HomeGymCon grew. So
that was actually
we
really
more
good.
than it's funny because we more than doubled the attendance. It still wasn't like a huge crowd, but we more than doubled the attendance from the first time we did it in person. And I remember that we did it the first time. It was just like all the way up until when people started actually coming in my head, I'm like, this is a dumb idea. Why did I do this? What if nobody tunes in? What if, you know what I mean? And then the first year that we did it, you weren't there.
No, I wasn't there for the first year. I was in
I was trying to figure it out.
Competition.
Yeah, you were in Florida. So me and Tim were trying to figure it out. And that's when it occurred to me. That's the first time it occurred to me that nobody in the audience could see the live chat. So a lot of this show involves interacting with people in the live chat, but when you have a live audience, they can't see the chat. So that's why the next time we did it, you were there, and I said, and so Naomi read out the comments like I do. She read the comments out so that the people who were there in person could hear what you guys were saying there, and that was actually a whole lot of fun. Once we could figure out, once people figured out how to actually get up to that room, and I wish Trevor hadn't left already, but he'll hear it on the replay. Honestly, most of the people who were actually able to be in the live audience were there because of Trevor, because he had to stay downstairs and hold the door open.
Yeah, because remember, I woke up. Well, we were already going to get up early, but I woke up even extra early, and because I literally sat up and I was like, how's everybody going to get in? Because he had the badge in.
Right. And I was like, oh, now Jake gave us his badge. She's like, yeah, but we'll be upstairs during the show. How are they going to get in while we're upstairs? And I said, because the convention center didn't open. Convention center didn't open until, what was it, like 7, 8 o'clock? And the show starts at 6. So Trevor kind of like fell on the sword, and he stood down there and held the door open for people, and then had to give him directions to how to get up to where we were actually doing the show. So we've got
it was a great event. There was tears, there was laughter. I got to put faces to people. I feel that I'll know people a lot better the next time around. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah.
And then I don't know if we can call this a milestone, but I contracted COVID. And that was another moment. It wasn't a trophy I was looking for, but I live streamed the show through my first and only, hopefully, bout with COVID-19.
In fact, he had finished the show, and I was working, and it was up midday or so, and I'm working with and talking with one of my counterparts at the time, and I get a text, and she knows you as well. And the fact that you say, hey, just let me know when you're done, so because I got to go to urgent care. John doesn't do that. John's like, I can just wrap it up with bubble gum and tape and keep moving. The fact he's like, yeah, let's get this checked out. I was like, yep, nope, we're done. Head out. And then the grand prize, COVID. I was like, oh yeah, didn't see that one coming.
I was like, jeez, yeah. I felt horrible that day. Yeah, that was bad. Let's pause for a second. So Jeff, who is one half of Parent and Powered Up, says, I tell parents she's too loud all the time. I continue to be amazed that you are alive because of the things you say to your wife. But I guess that actually is your protection, because you say so much stuff that she's the obvious suspect. So until she figures out a way to cover it up, you're okay. But one day she will figure it out, and nobody can help you at that point.
If she watches true crimes or murder mysteries, she already has a plan.
I'm just going to tell you once again, I hear you say that, but remember that these are the people who got caught. So none of the plans that they use are good ideas, because that's how they got
Those
caught.
are the ones those are the ones they may have broadcast.
Okay, first of all, we need to pause right there. Hold on a second. Cutie Pie, don't get banned. Don't get banned from the show. I know you here
Oh
with Carlos. You here with
no.
Carlos. You
Mm-mm.
here with Carlos,
No.
okay? But we ain't. I put up your comment and now I'm taking it down. I'm just gonna tell you, I hate the Cowboys. I hate teams that look like the Cowboys. I hate fans that look like they like the Cowboys. I don't like them Cowboys at all. I hate them. I hope every member of your team simultaneously stubs their pinky toe. Okay. I'm vindictive like that. I don't like them. Okay. Anyway, from the heat and that's a tangent. We're moving on.
Yeah.
So we talked about like the live streaming and the fact that we go all these different places. And one of the things is that we hit a lot of expos. So we still haven't been back to the Arnold since 2019, but this 2025 marked our first time attending HFA 2025. That was really, it was a, I would say it was one of the milestones because it's something that I had thought about and wanted to do for quite some time. You know, we had, I mean, we had talked about it a little bit, kind of like what happened with the Arnold, where we had talked about it. And then one day we were like, let's just go. And we just literally just got in the car, drove up to the Arnold for one day, took a nap in the car, and drove back. Yeah, that wasn't, I don't recommend that, but it kind of was like, oh yeah, let's just go for it. And the same thing happened with HFA because I've wanted to go to HFA since it was called Ursa. And we had a lot of like, okay, I typically, this is partially from the Marine Corps and partially from my time as a fighter. I don't let people see when something like I'm afraid or I'm nervous about something or whatever, right? So I was really, really scared about the Ursa thing, HFA thing, because up until the very last minute, we didn't know if so we got, we had to reserve the hotel room, but we didn't know if we were going to be able to get into the event because we hadn't gotten our media pass confirmations. So that's something that was like, okay, are we going to actually be able to do this? And so I was like, so up until the very last minute, I was like, I don't know. And then we finally get, and then, there was just like a bunch of chaos. We got there. But I was really, really, and then it was huge in terms of like the venue. I mean,
yeah, it was quite impressive actually. Because it being our first time, I liked just the way it was laid out. When we were finally able to get in.
Yeah, I was like, once we got in there, yes.
Yeah, but the question was when we were going to get in, because security was tight.
Oh yeah.
And so once we got all that worked out, we got our passes and everything else. It was interesting. And then of course the classes. We went down, we explored where all the classes were going to be because they do like retraining and everything. And in fact, there you go.
Is the maiden voyage of the Osmo Pocket 3. Shout out to DJI.
Yep. Got a chance to try that. That was actually really, 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 really fun. Using that with the mics and everything. And also with all the running around that we had to, because we recorded, we did our different things. We had to go back to the room to go ahead and upload, edit,
yes,
download, clear that out, come back down. And if anyone has been to Mandalay Bay, where that convention center is, where John is showing, and where our hotel room was, I actually tracked it with the amount of steps. It's equivalent to almost 1.5 miles from our room down, across, and then into the venue.
And that's actually me walking there, like. But actually, before we go on it, remember one thing so that we've never told anybody this is we so because of it was short notice, we got our flight. It ended up being a red eye, so we got there at like I want to say midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and they originally wouldn't let us check into our room until like 11. So they ended up saying, okay, well, we'll let you get in your room. I think it was like maybe 9, but we still had to find somewhere to be. So we got no room. We don't know anybody in Vegas, at
Nope.
least not anybody that we could just show up at their house. And
At that
so
time.
so it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, but then Naomi, like she was saying earlier, she was working, so her workday was about to start. So we actually ended up going down to the cafeteria and like the little food court, rather cafeteria, down to the food court. And thank God they had Wi-Fi, and you were able to plug in. And so we're just kind of like sitting at a table. The food court was not open either. We're just literally just sitting there, and she's working, and I'm there trying not to nod off because I'm like, I don't want, if people connected with this event come by, I don't want them to see me and be like, oh yeah, you were that guy that was asleep in the food court, right?
Yeah.
So we had there was a lot going on there, but
Yeah.
this is the walk from our hotel room. I had to do it one time. I said, I just wanted y'all to see how long this walk is, and yeah, that was a lot. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I think I hit like one day. I think I hit over 30,000 steps. Just with all the walking, and we'll bump into people. Hey, how you doing? It's like you either saw us going one way like this, or you saw us coming back the other way like this, speeding back and forth. But there was a lot of great events in there, a lot of great vendors to kind of check out. Also having to, I had to also kind of keep reminding myself that I'm not a spectator, because it was like, oh, like Shani, I want to go see. It was like, you're working as well, and building connections. So it was a great event. It was awesome event.
And I mean, I think so. As I think about it, so there's the thing with American Barbell. It was interesting because I had been to events like this in the past when I worked for the public gym, but I hadn't been to one of them in a long time. And that's where I started this, like, it started to remind me, like, some of the differences between commercial equipment, so equipment intended for a public gym, whether it's like Lifetime Fitness or a college or university. And even there's a difference between stuff that's intended for a school versus stuff that's intended for like a Lifetime Fitness or a Powerhouse gym or something like that. And then something that's intended for a home gym. For example, the equipment in like you're not going to find like attachments and stuff like that for something that's intended for necessary for like a school, because that's going to lead to bottlenecks. You're going to have too many people in one spot or whatever. But it was just interesting. There's Iron Bull Strength right there. And that was actually our first time meeting that guy, Frank, from Iron Bull Strength. I kind of ambushed him coming out of one of the seminars, keeping in mind we hadn't had a lot of sleep.
We didn't ambush him. We bumped into each other.
Okay, yeah, ambush means it's pre-planned. That's right. I didn't know he was going to be there. Well, I knew he was going to be there, but I didn't know where he was going to be. And he would just walked out of this one of the seminars. We had walked in and we're kind of like looking at where the seminar is going to be, because again, nothing had started yet and we couldn't go to our room. So we're walking around with our backpacks on our back, trying to just, not look homeless, but also look busy, but not get in the way. And he walked by.
Room in the impulse.
Yeah, that's QLI Fitness from Vietnam. That was crazy. And yeah, we saw him, and that actually was cool because he agreed to an interview on the spot. Yeah. And we didn't do it till the next day, but he agreed to an interview. And I texted Tim from Gym Crafter and everybody I knew at the time who had because at the time there was a thing going on with Iron Bull Strength, because we were saying, we like the rack, but there was no customer service number. So all the content creators I knew who they had reached out to about their equipment, they were like, I don't necessarily know if I can't tell people to go to this company. If they have a problem, there's no way for them to get in touch with them. And so that interview with Frank was cool, because not only did we get an answer to the question about why they didn't have a customer service number, and he explained what was going on. It was a valid reason. But then I want to say that they had already planned on going to HomeGymCon, but I feel like we kind of like broke the ice a little bit in the home gym community with people actually knowing who they were. And so that was and that obviously led to them coming on, Isaac coming on the show and other cool things that happened. But that was a big deal.
Good people. Good peoples with Iron Bull. I mean, we've spent much time at their booths, and just talk, and really, we see the equipment, but really getting to know them with Stefan, Isaac, Frank, and the rest of the team over there. So they're good people.
It was it was like, and then, yes, because then we saw them there, then we saw them again at HomeGymCon, and it was like,
Mhm.
oh, like like a relationship is building. Now it's like, okay, wait, now
Right.
we know you, right? And we're
Right.
getting
Right.
people's phone numbers and all that. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like the thing that we're trying to do, to just more relationships in the community, right?
Right.
And so I pointed out, so we did Lockjaw, we did booth tours of Lockjaw Collars, Body
Mhm.
Solid, Major Fitness, American Barbell. Major Fitness, that was another one. I had contact with them just in terms of, we did one product review for them,
Mhm.
and well, I did personally, and then Ashley did another one when she was doing stuff for our channel.
Mhm.
And so to me, they were just a brand. But then
Right.
we met them, and they actually ended up giving us a rack, a prototype rack that
Mhm.
that our son James now has, and he and
Mhm.
his wife have in their home gym. So that led to a lot of things. That led to them being on. In fact, that episode we were talking about where we set up, where we had like the 50. We started the episode in the car.
Mhm.
I interviewed somebody from Major Fitness, John from Major Fitness, on that episode. So I was doubly
Oh,
nervous.
that's right.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, man, I
right.
hope this works, because I got to
Oh,
get. Well, this is my first interview with John from Major Fitness. This cannot
that's
screw
right.
up, right? Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's just cool how everything all connects back to each other. So yeah, that was really cool. Then attended Music City Fit Expo. That was another good one.
Mhm.
We hadn't been there, so you didn't go this time, but
Nope.
neither
Need
one
to
of
go.
us have been there since 2019, because we streamed the Music City's Strongest Man competition in 2019. That's
Was
when
it
we
20?
met. Yeah, that's where we met Dave Waters.
Oh, that's right. That's
Before we
right.
started doing, before, and which led to us doing the Mammoth for a few years.
Mhm.
And then the next year, because they did Music City Strongest Man the next year, but it was COVID, so we had to do it as a Zoom call to live
Mhm.
stream it, and then that was the last time. So we had not, neither one of us had been there, and I was like, I just want to go, because Joaquin was going to be in town doing something for the Marine Corps, and I was
Mhm.
like, this is a good chance to possibly see him, and you weren't able to go, but I was able to go up there, and I really liked it. I actually think you will like it, because I want to go back.
Okay.
Not only did I see the sumo wrestlers, which was eye-opening because I had never seen sumo in person. Number one thing I got out of that was every sport has their Michael Jordan, and you never and that person is going to meet the demands of the sport. Right? So it's
Yep.
sumo, so you just whatever you think that means, just
Mhm.
yeah, they got their Michael Jordan. And but yeah, we did like I did some interviews with Executive Fit. Um uh we spoke with AvMat, but they couldn't really come on. What you call it? They couldn't really tell us a whole. Katarina
Mhm.
couldn't really tell us a whole lot on camera, but she answered a lot of questions. So
Okay.
that was a good experience. And then I got to see. I hadn't seen Jason from Surplus Strength in ages. It felt like it had been like
Mm.
decades. It was really. I mean, I saw him at HomeGymCon, but I
Right.
think he actually wasn't able to make HomeGymCon, the second one. So because he had damaged, hurt his foot or something like that. So it was really cool. I got to see Carp. That's always a good time. And in
Yep.
fact, when I did the interview with Executive Fit, they showed me Carp's deadlift platform. So I actually got to see Carp's deadlift platform before Carp did. And this is that was a good. So I'm just, like I said, this is just a recap. So I'm just having a good time just showing you guys. It's like let's see, where's he showed me the different platforms here. Yeah, this is it right here. This was Carp's deadlift platform, and it's got Carp's logo on it. And I actually got to see, and then Carp hadn't got there yet, so I got to see Carp's deadlift platform, which is the kind, by the way, since you're watching this. Oh, that's a man from Right Fitness in the background. I didn't even thought about that. But that's the kind of deadlift platform I want to do, Naomi. And there he is. So I was on hand when Carp showed up and got his deadlift platform.
Awesome. I
So
like that. It's
yeah,
space saving as
I
well.
think it work like in front of like where the other one is, and we'll get some of our space back. So yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
y'all pardon us while we kind of like redecorate our
We're
home gym on
yeah.
camera. But
Sorry.
yeah. So yeah, I think it'll be cool. And then of course we attended HomeGymCon 2026, and
Mhm.
we're gonna talk more about that in the next hour. But since you're not gonna be with me because you have to go, talk about like your reactions to HomeGymCon from from
From
having
the
been there in the
first
first
time
year and not being
and
there
then
the
30th.
second year, and then all of it
Mhm.
we're in a different place. So, what were your impressions of it?
I was, well, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. It was a quantum leap. From the first year of going of their French Lick to experiencing it in Louisville. In year 3, it was like I was just like floored because of just not only the amount of people that were there, um, but just how much it had grown with, with the vendors and the exhibitors and the competition and everything else that was going on. But at the same time, we were still bumping into people that we knew, so it still felt like that homecoming feel with
Yeah.
folks, even though it was a bigger stage. And so it was I'm really looking forward to this upcoming Home Gym Con, to see how much it's gonna grow, because I think if memory serves me correctly, based on what you said, it's gonna be that entire space, I think, for this year, as opposed to the amount of space that was, because we didn't get that whole room, that whole expo spot, I think it was. So I think it's expanding for this year coming up.
Um,
So, but I don't want to take Jake's thunder. I could be quoting it wrong or anything like that. Um,
Let me see. I
but
don't know. I might have because I thought so. I know that it's bigger in terms of exhibitors. Uh,
right.
like and this is what the map looks like now. So this is the map of Home Gym Con as it stands right now, or as it stood a few weeks ago when he posted this.
Hmm.
So it's that's kind of like what it looks like in general, right? So it's got they've moved around, and he'll
You
have to
have to
get into all
share.
this, but yeah, they moved around like where some of the competitions are, kind of rearranged stuff. But yeah, this is what it looks like. That's what the map looks like right now,
Can't see the map.
and you can't see the map. Okay, hold up. Hang on a second here. Move. Let's try it. Let's try it this way. Hang on, pull it up. Can you see it now?
No, I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sharing it. Can you guys in the chat see it? Hey, what's up? Melly Angie, what's going
Oh,
on? Yeah, so
Nelly
she can see.
Mel.
Okay, so they can see it.
Okay, so it could just be me. So,
Uh okay, yeah, cool. What's up? Um, I'll just send it. I'll do it this way. Or
okay,
I'll share it with you in a little bit. Because if you can't
no
see it
problem.
like with it shared this way, then it
No
won't
problem.
whatever.
But
Uh,
what I will say is that the one of the lessons that I think you and I learned for packing purposes, is bringing the hyper ice and
heck
then
yes.
and comfort shoes. Because I mean, I was already
Heck,
wearing sneakers, but
second that emotion.
um, I will make sure that I've got the hyper ice for in the evening.
So hold on, you have
Um,
to tell them. Okay, Hyperice makes a lot of stuff. We're talking about
the leg sleeves.
the Normatec compression sleeves, the boots.
Yes,
They go all the way
yes,
up to your hip. Yeah.
yes.
And by the way, because I check out Hyperice stuff, they have a new one that's specifically for your hips.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like a giant black diaper, but I don't care. All right, I ain't wearing it to the pool. I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna be in the house where. Oh heck yeah! Now I did not plan.
yeah.
I get nothing for telling you guys this. I just like, yeah, this is it. So hang on.
Mhm.
Hopefully, and actually, this is actually be a good test to make sure you can see it. So let me share the screen real quick. See if you can see this. Can you see that?
Now I can see it.
Okay, so
It
yeah, so that
looks like
yeah,
cargo pants diaper
yeah,
ish.
yeah.
But
You
you
know,
know what? For running and stuff
I
like
will
that.
wear that mug with a clear conscience. That's why I said it
Oh,
looks like a giant black diaper.
yeah. But for Hope Gym Con with all the the
Right.
walking and the standing and everything else, or just I think with also moving things around now, nothing compared to the exhibitors when they're bringing in
Oh
all that
yeah.
equipment and having to put it all together. We were in, I guess the best way to describe it is kind of like in the bird's nest where we had set up the
Yeah.
the
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 crow's nest.
um
Yeah.
the crow's nest.
Overlooking it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then watching the different vendors put their stuff up and whatnot was really, really cool. Also watching it when it was like when Home Gym Con was done and just the quick exodus of taking everything down, trying to make sure they can get it out to their trucks because that line for the exhibitors' trucks to load everything up was wrapped around not just the building, the block, but blocks at a time.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun.
100%.
Bumping into people in the street and it's like, hey, how you doing? Like, where are you off for to eat or et cetera. So
Yeah,
it's
that's where we saw Brian from Wait It Out. He was like just
yep,
because we saw, was it like the Ethiopian food place or something like that? We're like, hey, is this place
yes,
open? Like, what time do they close? Whatever, because we both love Ethiopian food.
yes,
And yeah,
yes.
yeah. And he's like, I don't know. And like they actually didn't have their hours posted. So we're like, well, how much longer are they gonna be open? We're like, I don't know.
Exactly, exactly.
That was
And
hilarious.
so
That was hilarious.
but I am looking forward to this coming Home Gym Con for sure.
So on the live streaming, haven't gotten there yet. So we did a bunch. We also did something that I was I felt like we didn't do enough of in 2024. So in 2025, we doubled down on our commitment to continue to tell brand stories in innovative ways. And that means we went back to doing showroom tours. So we had gone to, I want to say we were the first to do a tour of Fringe Sport, but it was in their previous location. They've
Hmm.
moved and we haven't been to the new location yet. But we
Hmm.
were the first ones that I know of to do a tour of Fringe Sport years ago. And then we kind of just got away from, and then I've been out to Freedom Fitness, but we kind of got away from doing that stuff. Some of it was because of COVID,
Hmm.
but some of it was just time. And we said, we want to do more of that, and so we doubled down. We started doing more showroom tours,
Right.
and so the first one that we did was we did the American Barbell Showroom, and that is in Vegas. And so we were able to kind of kill two birds with one stone because
Hmm.
we explored the American Barbell Showroom in Vegas while we were out there for HFA. And see that pack that's on my back right there? That was what was on my back while we're walking around trying to look busy before they allowed us to get in our hotel room. All right. And then Naomi has one that's about the same size. It had all of our, so think about, we've got all of our equipment with us and we just kind of like, but then I think what happened is like they let us check our stuff with
In
like
concierge.
in the concierge. Yeah. So we didn't
Mhm.
have everything, but yeah, so we had that plus more stuff. But anyway, yeah, so we got to walk around in there at the showroom, see a bunch of their stuff. That was the first time I got to put my hands on the Il Progino deadlift bar. Um, there's like just a bunch of stuff in there. It was just cool. And as far as I know, to this day, we definitely were the only independent media that was there.
Hmm.
But I didn't see any other media. So basically anybody else with a camera or anything like that or doing interviews, it was just us. And so that was a huge honor, and we were glad to be out there. Got to meet Phil, got to see in person, got to see their podcast room, which is
That
very,
podcast
very
was
nice.
very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's like I'm trying to see if that they have if I got any footage of it. I know we walked in there.
Hmm.
Uh but I don't remember if we had it in there, if we saw it in there or not.
It
Or
may
if I
be on
have
the
it on.
cutting,
Yeah,
maybe on the
it's
cutting room floor.
probably. Probably. But anyway, so yeah, what stood out to you from that trip to there, that specific place?
Um, so for now, and I'm trying to not compare it to the next um location that we did for a site
Yeah.
tour, but with American Barbell, I liked how it had some things downstairs, but
Yeah.
you had to continue and to go like upstairs or was it upstairs? No, around the corner.
No, it was
To
upstairs.
It was upstairs. Okay.
They did have
That
it
was
upstairs.
good.
Yeah, they had around the
Yeah.
corner and they had it upstairs. Yeah.
To see more of their equipment involving like their racks with their
Yeah.
barbells and stuff like that. So um it was very impressive.
Yeah.
Um and I guess people were able to kind of play around with it, but it was really set up to be able to be viewed.
Yeah.
So you can touch it, but I didn't know if you were able to kind of like play with it. Pause. Um
Whoa.
Pause.
So like this is around the corner into the training area where they do
Yeah.
like the seminars and classes.
Right.
And then
Right.
upstairs is this stuff
Where
up
the
here.
racks were and like all the displays and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
some of the displays and things like that. Yeah, because they were telling us
Mhm.
about the podcast and all that.
Mm.
So you mentioned the other place that we attended,
Mhm.
and I will say the American Barbell was cool, but that
Yes.
stuff isn't necessarily designed like with a home gym in mind primarily. It's like you can use it in a home gym and it's going to be completely durable and very, very
Yes.
functional.
Yeah.
The next place we were invited out to Chino Hills, California to cover, and you guys probably a lot of you guys already know this. We covered the 10th anniversary celebration for RitFit and the grand opening of the RitFit California showroom. So this was I want to say it's our second time seeing them in person. We had been working with RitFit for a long time doing projects for them,
Mhm.
reviews and things like that. So this is our first time actually like getting time to spend to talk to them. And so
Right.
this was a huge deal. Going to the Chino Hills store and you go around the corner and it also was great because we met Dennis Solis in person for the first time at HomeGymCon, and he
Mhm.
actually did most of the work to set up this this is us kind of like just talking about it to set up this store. So you guys see that there, our buddy Dennis set up this store, and I was like super, super impressed by what they
Mhm.
had in here.
Yeah.
So what was your impression of the RitFit show, of the RitFit
It was
show?
not just, well, shout out to Tom and the staff out there at the
Oh
RitFit
yeah, 100%. Very
location.
hospitable.
Very hospitable, very they're there to answer questions. The way it was set up was welcoming, encourage, not just to be able to see, but also try. And it was like, you got a chance to play with the equipment, try the equipment, work out with the equipment, see the difference between, this leg press or this bench versus another bench. I mean, like
Give feedback.
give feedback, because
Yeah.
the same thing, again, shout out to Tom and Summer and Matt and the rest of the team out there. They take feedback, and
Yep.
when I say they literally run with it, they run with it.
Yep.
It's not like, oh yeah, well, thanks for that thanks for that update or that feedback, and it's like maybe that's going to be an upgrade, next year or something like that. No.
Yeah.
They when I say they run with it, they run with it. And I'm still would
Waiting for your
love to
mermaid bar.
see the mermaid bar. Yes. I think
I
that
knew that you were
that
gonna say that.
was, because as soon as I saw it, it was just absolutely beautiful. But I mean, again, there was a lot of stuff in there, but it didn't feel crowded. There
Yeah.
were a lot of people there, but it didn't feel crowded. It felt like you were able to get to know people. I mean, we built a lot of great relationships. I'm a pizza snob. One of the best pizzas
Oh,
I've ever had. Again, shout out to Angel and his wife,
yes. Yep.
with their portable oven,
In
brick
fact,
oven.
just married.
Mhm.
So congratulations to them. They
Oh,
just married. Yeah,
congratulations!
they're actually
Awesome.
officially husband and wife now. So yeah.
But amazing, amazing pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so good, so good. And I mean, we got a chance to build relationships and contact with Lisa and others out there. I mean, it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So let's see. So Carp said this is going back to the Music City Fit Expo. He says always nice to see John and Nate in person. He said Ab,
Mhm.
Matt, and Surplus are always also cool. And I 100% agree with that. Kevin from Japan said, hey, just dropping by to wishing you both happy holidays and a happy new year. And he said, you will crush 2026, no doubt, dude. I really appreciate that. And likewise for you, man. I love what you're doing with your channel. I love the fact that you now have content specifically for the Japanese audience. And I want you to know that we do have our tree up. Right? We've got our tree up, but ours is not going to be up as long as yours is going to be up.
No,
But yeah,
no,
but it's
no.
the tree is officially up. All right. Mel said that the RitFit showroom looks really nice and organized and makes her type A personality happy. If you guys, yeah. So based upon your desk, I can see the type A in there. I can see that. So we did some live stream powerlifting meets. We did Odin's Fury, which is a professional amateur meet for the United States Powerlifting Coalition. We did the Shack Showdown, and then we live streamed one strongman competition, United States Strongman Outback Kitty Haven Invitational, and that was really cool. Unfortunately, 2025 there was controversy. There was controversy between Mark from Flex March to Spot and Iron Bolt Strength. There was controversy between Clever Built and Rogue, between Rogue and ATX. As a community, we were divided over tariffs and what they would mean for the home gym community. Like literally just going back and thinking about all of the things, the drama that popped up, and we try to stay drama free, but just like Naomi and I were driving back from my cousin's house last night, and I was just like, all these different bits of drama popped up over the course of 2025 to the point that some of this stuff, like you forgot, like, oh yeah, that happened too. Oh, that happened this year too. Like, yeah, we've had a crazy year. The tariffs, I remember I had Peter from Fringe Sport and David from Gorilla Strength come on the show, and they both gave two very different, valid and well thought out perspectives on why each of from both sides of the tariff debate. And they talked about why, their side, how their side is affected, and how, and it was, I didn't want to kind of like make up anybody's mind for them, but I wanted everybody to get a chance to state their case about why they liked or didn't like tariffs or just whatever, right? Felt they were necessary, felt they should go away. And so that was like, to me, that was a pretty impactful episode. The thing with Mark, some of the controversies between like Mark and Iron Bull Strength, that tested me journalistically, because I want to be fair. I want to give everybody a chance to state their case, but I also don't want to turn this. The point of this show is to get your Friday, your weekend started off in a fun way.
Right.
I want you to have it's like positive vibes only, that old thing from, when we were younger. That's kind of like the point of the show. I on purpose don't want the show to be like, I don't know, 60 minutes, or if 2020 is still on TV, 2020. I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be like hard hitting and investigative. No, yes, I could do that. No, I don't want to. Not on this show anyway. And I don't think it's the right venue for it. Maybe if we had like an evening show or something, or an afternoon show, maybe. But for this, I want you to primarily enjoy coming here and enjoy being here. And when you leave, I want you to not be like, I can't wait to go back. Like cheers.
I think though, even though through the controversies that when it was discussed on the show, I think, and not because you have an unfair advantage with me, in my opinion, but I think what was great about the show is it was an open platform for both parties to state their case, where it wasn't filtered through other people's interpretation.
Yes.
It was, state your case. This is it. Because again, we are a small community. And so things that do happen, people are going to hear about it, and they're going to hear about it fast. But we want it's hear about it, but from the parties that are involved, and let them deal with it, but also here's the facts. Here's side A, here's side B. And then they work it out, kind of thing. So not hiding from the controversy, but also not taking other people's opinions in the controversy to make a decision, if that makes sense. And again, you do a really good job of keeping it very, to the facts, very vanilla. This is how it is, etc.
Now, part of what people don't realize is some of that stuff, so that was one of those episodes was one of the ones that we filmed from a hotel room.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the one where Isaac was on. And while I'm asking questions, sometimes Naomi is like in the background, like, stop, just let him answer. Don't give him, that's it. Okay, you ask a question, stop there, let him answer. And I'm like, I'm gonna, you know, this, but like we tried to not editorialize. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I don't want to tell you what something means. I just want them to tell you what happened and how they felt, how it made, you know, like what their intention was, because a lot of the drama happens when people misinterpret someone's actions, and that's across the board. Eric said there are way too many whiners in 2025. I mean, I understand, to be honest with you, I can understand some of the reasons why people were upset. Like, for example, there's ongoing legal action between Gluck's Gym and Vulcan Strength. I understand why people are upset in that situation. No matter what side you're on, I understand. So you can't, it's not a lot of the thing, and even the thing with Mark and Iron Bull Strength, I understand why each party was upset. Because in some cases, in all cases that I just mentioned, it affects their livelihood. And then I also, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened, but I'm glad we found out, because hopefully justice will be served for the people who were victims. And it's like we learned that someone that we all trusted had abused that trust in specific cases and victimized people who should have been safe with him. And that's, you know, not something, there's nothing we can do about that. I can't do anything about the fact that we had an association, even on a limited basis. But it's just one of those things that's like, man, when I heard about it, I was like, it was just like, something, not another thing, you know? And selfishly, you can kind of feel like, man, I wish, you know, we hadn't heard this, because it kind of ruins whatever. But looking at it from the victim standpoint, like, you know, hey, I'm glad they had the courage to finally speak up, you know?
Correct.
And I'm sad that it happened to them.
Yeah.
Now, as we close up here, possibly the most impactful thing from 2025 for me was that in the second week of January, Naomi started her 1-year fitness journey. And so some of you guys are aware of it, but I want you to kind of, I think it'll have a little bit more impact if you, because it's easy for it to kind of go under the radar, but it was a really big deal. And you guys can kind of see, because she's been on the show multiple times. You've seen her. You guys who saw her at HomeGymCon know what, you know, like, saw the difference, especially because you weren't there for 1 year. So like when you came back, it was like, oh, whoa, what just, you know, what happened? But it was, I know I've told you, but I will say again, I'm extremely proud of you. We had started a thing called the Garage Built Challenge, 1-year challenge, and she's the first person to complete it. And here, just check it out. All right. So first of all, how do you feel seeing that? Because she didn't know I was making that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
I didn't mean to make you cry.
it's sweat. There's no cry. There's no
Oh, okay, got you.
tears.
All right,
You know,
sure.
sweat.
All right.
But I think it's thank you, Melly. It's important, you know. I needed to take care of my health, and for a long time, I've been I think the most medication I had taken, like for my blood pressure and heart and everything else, it was like I think almost up to 7. And I didn't want to I didn't want to do it anymore, you know. We're grandparents. Yes, we're grandparents to two absolutely beautiful little girl and a little boy.
Yep.
So James and Nicole, you guys are doing a great job. We have, of course, our boys, and with Nora, our little girl. I, I'm getting ready to turn 50. I've got one more year, and then the second half of the century will begin for me. And it's how do I want to live it, and then what do I want to put you through? Because you signed up for this. And so I want to be able to be healthy and be able to travel and be there for the kids and everything else. And so um, I wanted to feel good in my own skin. And um, I think what really kind of took it off was after going on vacation with a girls' trip, seeing some of the pictures. Again, well, you also know we're supposed to have a ratio between you and I. It's the unwritten rule in regards to weight difference.
I want you to
Um,
know that first of all, there's very little scientific basis to this ratio.
well,
It's
it's
just
just
something she
that's my
came up with,
ratio.
but it made me feel good. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that seems legit.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. All right.
And so it was like, okay, when that ratio started getting really, really close together, or even worse, when you do laundry and you
Well,
can't
tell them
tell the
what the
difference.
ratio is.
So it was like a 50-pound difference
Like I'm
is the
always
ratio.
supposed to weigh at least 50 pounds more than she does. That's basically it.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that was coming almost to a non-existence, we were starting to meet at the starting line together on that ratio, and then you can't tell the difference on which which item of clothing it belongs to whom. I was like that it's gotta stop. And so I started in January, and um hopefully we'll be hitting my goal by January. But then again, that's not the end of the story, because triathlon season will begin in 2026, and so I'll be able to start with that because I've already been training, but now I can really kick it into high gear um, to be sport specific. Do a little bit of a bulk when it comes down to like more muscle to help with the strength that's needed to go through those sports more effectively and more efficiently. Definitely beating my times from the last few times I've done it in the past. And then again, for year 50, for my 50th birthday, I want to complete an Ironman. Um, if not one, maybe two, because those are destinations, so locations, and I would like to be able to do a destination location for an Ironman, and then also it's a destination vacation. So I'm putting it here first. So you guys, again, like I've told you, you guys are my accountability partners. There are times when I just don't want to do it, or just, life happens and I'm like, I just take a break, and then I'm like, nope, I've got to be accountable. So you guys keep me accountable. You guys keep me encouraged. You guys um keep me accountable. The fact when I came out from behind the camera, I was always behind the scenes, and I was always happy behind the scenes. To take that step forward to come out from behind the camera was a big leap. And I'm continue with this journey, and it's all because of you guys. So I do appreciate it. And of course, with John as well. So, thanks so very much.
All right. So before we let you go, your current goals. Tell me if I got this right. You want to increase your deadlift 1 rep max. You want to
Hmm.
complete 3 to 5 triathlons this year, and you want
Yes.
to hit a walking around weight of 145. Like the range. Oh my, Carlos, you are not helping. That's not the support we're asking.
What?
It says towards concert tickets. Stop it.
You're so stupid. You're crazy.
Stop it. Thank you, man. Hey, I appreciate you. We not going to Korean con. Okay, yeah, we are. All right, fine.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, I knew we were gonna have to go when she said she wanted to, but I do want to complain a little bit before we go. All right, anyway, but so yeah, I like that you said you want to hit a weight range of
Right.
145 to 150 because
Mhm.
holidays happen. You're gonna. I mean, look, we just went to Vera's house and remember the food that they all had out there. They had
Yes.
things that happen. So you don't have a weight. It's like you have a range. Like, all right.
Right.
And that's the same thing I want to do. And I'm actually at the point where it's like, man, I'm balancing the numbers I want to hit in the bench press specifically
Mhm.
with wanting to feel comfortable. And it's like, man, going up and down the stairs there, like, so yeah, I feel like we're pretty much like, okay, look. But I also, the other side of it is like, I've been wanting to hit this number goal on the bench and I'm only 30 pounds away. I've been wanting to do it
Yeah.
since like I was since before I started powerlifting. I mean, I was
Mhm.
like 21. No, that's not true. I was 23. I was 23 and I saw somebody bench with 405. And I was like,
Mhm.
man, I want to do that, right? And so it's part of the thing that's kind of like there. But I don't want to bench 405, but like, have sleep apnea. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So and
Right.
that's like the balancing act. But in any case, so Carlos said we are his heroes. Hey, look, man, you just keep wearing that hat during your live stream so my daughter can check it out and it makes her
Nora
happy.
loves that hat. She
And
loves that.
Mel said, yes, go. And I 100% agree with that. Um,
Fellow
so
K-pop lover. So
yeah,
she's a fellow K-pop.
shouting that out. All right. Anyway, so before we let you go, let everybody know we are on LinkedIn. So if there's a brand that wants to connect with you for anything related to home office solutions or anything like that, or people who work from home and they just want to see setups, or if they want to get ideas, or if you've got a home gym setup, not home gym. See, I'm programmed. If you've got a home office setup that you want to see featured on Naomi's channel, the channel information is in the video description. If you're watching on replay, this video is going to be collaborating with her channel. So if it pops up and you see subscribe, you're like, I thought I was subscribed. Just click subscribe. That way you'll be subscribed to Naomi Greaves and to Garage Gym Life. And then, but besides that, still tell everybody how they can check out your stuff on YouTube and on Instagram as we close.
So you can go ahead and check it out. You look up Naomi Greaves or at Naomi Harris Greaves. It's on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram as well. And Naomi Greaves on LinkedIn.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, I know you got to go and get the rest of your day going, but I appreciate you being on here. And I will be making bacon later. So, I'll make just like I did yesterday, I'll make the floppy bacon for those of y'all.
It's not floppy bacon.
Look,
it's not impel yourself through your top of your mouth bacon. That's the difference. I don't believe
I'm not judging you for your tendencies, but I'm just saying that there's crispy bacon that's going to be made for those of us who like our bacon. If it drops, it's going to shatter into 3 pieces. All right, because that's the camp I'm in, and I don't apologize for it.
I'm sorry, but when you have to be careful of how you chew so you don't impale yourself on a shard, there's a problem.
Sorry, you can't stay longer. So talk to you later. Jake's waiting. I didn't let you stay, but Jake's waiting. So blame Jake. I'll let you go.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Love you. Talk to you later.
Love you too. Bye.
All right. That is my wife. Yes, that's right. Believe it or not, she's agreed to share my life, and she's stuck now. So I made sure there's no way she's gonna get away. Hey, that's right. I am team crunchy bacon. In fact, that's going to be my first question I ask Jake. Is he team crunchy bacon or team floppy bacon? I don't like that. I like food you can hear. Okay. I think food you can hear is a lot more fun. Anyway, good morning. It is 8:04. Good morning to those of you in the Mountain Time Zone who are just joining us. It is 6:04 a.m. there. So whether you're getting up, getting ready to hit the gym, or you have to head into the office, we appreciate you being here, spending this final hour of the show with us. If you're watching on LinkedIn, by the way, make sure that you are following the LinkedIn show page, Up Way Too Early with Garage Gym Life, so you don't miss a single episode as we continue to interview the most influential business owners, CEOs, and content creators who influence the home fitness community. My next guest is Jake Jaworski, and Jake, he is the definition of self-effacing. And so we got to shout him out and talk him up because he won't do it for himself. But he is a pioneer. who has created the first gym equipment expo that focuses on the home workout community. When it started, HomeGymCon was an idea that flew under the radar for most brands in the fitness industry. It was based in French Lick, Indiana, which is a location that can just barely be called a city. And that first year, the list of exhibitors was, as I recall, it was less than 60. Year 2 showed a little bit more traction as brands began to take notice. And then this past year, Jake took a gamble to move HomeGymCon to the Louisville Convention Center. And it was a gamble that, in my opinion, paid off. So let's welcome Jake to the show now. So he's going to recap HomeGymCon 2025, and then we're going to look ahead to HomeGymCon 2026. Jake Jaworski.
Self-effacing. What's
Self-effacing.
Self-effacing. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm serious, man. It's like you're a humble dude. Like all somebody has is in like it's like 5 minutes around you, and it's like you deflect. You know, like if it's something with you, it's like you make it's not a big deal. But then when you're talking about somebody else, you always like say, "Oh man, it's like great that they did this." It was, you know, so yeah, it's you're a humble dude. See, look at that. See how uncomfortable I made him right there when I said I'm talking about him. He's like this. He's like, yeah, can we switch topics? Yeah, you know. Founder of HomeGymCon in the building. Yeah, man, he's here. This is not a drill.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I've been excited. Believe it or not, while I let you, before we ask you about bacon, which is why you're really here.
I'm waiting for that.
I really hated not having you on sooner, but I just felt like, you know what, because every other year I'd have you on like sometime soon after HomeGymCon, and we do the AAR and then say, okay, like what's the plan for next year or whatever. And this time I said, you know what, I kind of want to close the year out with him and kind of like give us time to not only give you time to have like the HomeGymCon 2026 kind of, stuff starting to get lined up, but also so you have time to let HomeGymCon 2025 settle a little bit, because this was huge this year. So before we talk about that, are you team crunchy bacon or are you wrong?
Okay, so
oh Lord, here we go.
I have a little bit of a complicated answer. First of all, bacon is one of the only foods that I can get my daughters to eat. So I cook it all the time.
Okay.
One likes it crunchy, and then one likes it floppy. I would like to say I'm somewhere in the middle.
So you kind of like it. I mean, like when you bite it, if the perfect piece of bacon is in front of you, you pick it up, you put it in your mouth, and you bite it. Can you hear it? No. Okay. So you are team floppy bacon. Anything like in my perfect world. I literally, this is to show you how deep this goes. Okay. So I was talking to Naomi, explaining my situation. And she was like, well, I said, because you can make bacon in the air fryer. Because think about it. So I've had much longer conversations than you would imagine with like Carlos and other people talking about bacon, right? And its importance to happiness. And then when Isaac came on, and he's Canadian, and one of the things I asked him was like, why is y'all's bacon shaped like that? And he said, no, he revealed the truth that they actually eat regular bacon, and he was talking about making bacon in the air fryer. So do you make your bacon in a frying pan on the stove, or do you use an air fryer or something like that?
Stove.
Okay. So that's how I always made it. And I was like, I can never get it the way I get it when I go to a restaurant. Right. And I've got a list of restaurants that make bacon the correct way, and I like to go there. I don't want to go to these other places. So I was asking Naomi about the air fryer because we have one. So she did what a good wife does, and she reached out to a friend who has a recipe for making bacon in the oven. I tried it, and that's how I make bacon now. Just going forward, that's how it's going to happen, right? So I made some bacon the other day, pulled it out of the oven, and I took a bite. I grabbed one to take a bite, just whatever, while I was making the rest of breakfast, and I dropped it. It legit broke into 4 different pieces. And I was sad, but I was also proud. All right, that's where I was. Okay, I had like the emotional spectrum right there. And I will also say, let's see, I don't mind turkey bacon. I've eaten turkey bacon. I've had it's kind of like steak bacon because it's basically it's like how thin you slice it and like the way you prepare it, but obviously pork bacon is the that's the OG. Eric said that bacon in the oven is so much easier. He said he's always done it in the oven as he uses a stovetop for cooking everything else. I'll tell you that you can make it, that there's a method to that. I do agree. If you make it in the oven, it gives you time to make everything else on top of the stove. And then you don't have the thing where like your eggs taste like the bacon if you like don't have a lot of frying pans. So there's that. Yeah. Carp said bacon glass. I'm telling you, bacon is supposed to be, it's like popcorn. Would you want popcorn that you can't hear when you crunch it, when you eat it?
No.
Exactly. All right.
Convincing me though.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for. So I'm here to improve lives. And one thing that improved lives was HomeGymCon. See that segue right there? I am currently wearing my favorite all-time HomeGymCon t-shirt. Not because it was the OG. I don't even like orange, but this is just the shirt. I was just like, this kind of like, I'm actually at the point where I want to stop wearing it because I'm afraid that, you wash a shirt too many times and it starts to like fade and everything. And it'll be like one of those old concert t-shirts or whatever. So it's starting to become like a collector's item because not everybody's got one of these.
No. I if I had to guess, I would say there's probably 60 or 70 out there in the world of the actual t-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably all we got.
These are like, these are Daniel collector's items, and we don't get rid of them. Okay. I did not mean to do this with the bacon. Okay. But I see, I should have known. Jameson said ground bacon into patties. Okay. Eric says, I wait till the bacon is at least halfway done. Then I use the grease to grease the pans because oils are disgusting. Okay. That is okay. I've done that. I've been a bachelor, so I've done that. All right. I lived that life where like, well, there's a difference between a bachelor who's a grown man and a bachelor who's a college student. I've been both. And so that bachelor as a college student, that's when you got one pan and you use it for everything. Everything, right? Okay. So I've been there. I've lived that life. Yeah, bacon grease to make the eggs. I've done that. Oh, Eric said he's hoarding. He's got 2 of those shirts. See, I only got one. Naomi doesn't even have one. So she's got the other ones. But I'm the only one that's got one of these in our house. So this thing is, yeah.
Maybe for like the 5-year anniversary, we do something with the old logo as well, or with like all 5 logos. Maybe for anybody who's gone to all 5, we give them a free T-shirt or something like that. That might be something we can do.
Yeah, because it'll be like the 5. You'll have enough to make like a perfect circle or whatever.
Yeah,
something strange like that. So I'm gonna ask you this, because it was obviously a huge opportunity, but I know it also had to be scary a little bit, even a little bit. So what scared you the most about moving from French Lick to Louisville?
I would say the biggest thing about moving each year is there's just like unknowns, like going into a new place, and also just knowing like the decision to move to Louisville was made before the year 2 event even happened. So like you have to make that decision like at least 13, 14 months out to even like book a place. So I think the biggest unknown was like, there's a lot more upfront costs. There's a lot more regulations. There's just a lot of unknowns, and making the jump to Louisville. First of all, I wasn't super scared. It was like the writing was on the wall. We had the floor plan filled completely in French Lick, and it was clear like year 3 was going to be bigger than year 2. So I don't think there was too much, you just had to make the decision and do it. There wasn't really much like timidness as far as like going. Right. You just make the decision and figure out how to do it. So like, I don't know. This was also like 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you're like, oh, I'm good now. Hey, I know, but I mean, I'm saying like, so I guess you had to make the decision about moving to Louisville before anybody had even shown up at year 2. So you're putting out significantly more money, making a bigger commitment before you know if year 2 worked.
Yeah, I would
That's
just
what I'm
add
saying.
on. Yeah, just like this thing has been completely bootstrapped, and you know, you're taking the leap without knowing specific, because something terribly could have happened year 2, and
Oh
like
yeah.
nobody wanted to come back. So
Mhm.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, you know, you're continually reinvesting everything into the next year, into the next year, into the next year. So it's more like, what do you want to sacrifice, or how much do you want to risk is the biggest thing.
So we're still talking about the shirts. So Eric said he has 2 of these shirts. I've got one, he's got 2. Carp has one, he said, but it's tattered and almost unrecognizable because he's worn it so many times. And then Eric said that we need to do picks at HomeGymCon with the people who have been every year, because we did that first year. Remember, we did the picks with everybody. Then we did a pick with all the veterans, and I think we did a pick maybe all the vendors or something like that. And year 3 was too big to even imagine doing that, right? But I think that's something like where if somebody could stand up in that little crow's nest overlooking thing and everybody just stand down there and kind of like look up, that'd be kind of cool to just see like how many more people are there. Maybe like the final day or something like that. But
Yeah,
I
like
think
the swing sesh pick is pretty legendary. It'd be cool to
oh
do
yeah,
that every year. But yeah,
oh yeah,
missed out on the opportunity the last couple of years.
it's been a lot. And Jameson said he's second. He's voting for that picture as well, just for the picture of everybody who's been there every year. Now we've got a couple of questions that are coming in for year 5, but before we start talking about year 5, let's talk about this coming year. Okay, so let's talk about year 4, but we already got questions for year 5, so I guess they're like, we know year 4 is going to be successful. Year 5, so let's leave that right there, and so I'll save that for the end. But Eric Jameson, I haven't forgotten. I got your question started. I'll just ask it towards the end. So what was it like in the final days leading up to the HomeGymCon 2025? And how excited were you, for that matter, when people showed up to just like shoot content and just help out? Because I think Rob from Vintage Waste PGH showed up early because he was shooting some content, because he actually shot a video telling people how to get in to the, like, how to like get around and things like that. So how what was it like for you? Like, because I know it was a whirlwind of activity just in those final days leading up to it this year.
Yeah, it really is a whirlwind the last couple weeks. There's only there's certain things that you can only do like at the event or leading up to the event. You have to wait a certain amount of time to get things ready. So like at the last part of it is like making sure you're set to get people checked in. You know, we gave name tags with everyone's name on it. So like getting those organized actually takes like a full working day, just like the name tags, because it comes in with in like separate packets. You have to organize it. You have to put everyone in a lanyard, and then you know, you gotta, like, once you get there, you have to pass them out. And then you're also like working on the website the last minute. You're working on like last minute marketing. So it was really helpful to have content creators show up early and just make a few posts. Like, reminder, this event's 2 days out.
Yeah.
And that really helps get like the entire eyeballs of the community on it, even if they're not there, which has been really cool to see. Like, even though, you know, last year, I think there were about 1,400 people, but really the impact probably reached millions, right, because of the amount of content that was created. But yeah, it's just a whirlwind. That entire weekend, you're like running. It's, you know, small staff. You can tell it's a small staff. You're handling vendor questions. You're answering emails coming through with questions about the event. Like, if I get tickets, can I do this? Like, you're trying to like stay on top of everything for, you know, a variety of groups of people.
It's crazy. Like some of the, so I know some of the, you try to anticipate questions, but I know it's also crazy, like how many things people think of to ask you that it never occurred to you, like that was going to be a question. And then you have to, because it never occurred to you, you now have to like, okay, well, let me figure out an answer that makes sense. And what are the repercussions of this answer I give them? Like, how's it going to affect everything else or whatever, in a small or a big way. JB, what's up, JB? He said Rob's video was legendary for helping to navigate parking. So, for example, something like that. It's like, you're like, oh yeah, okay, this is how you go in, because we actually used that. That helped us out when we got there to make sure that we knew how to get inside and everything else. So that was
I mean, just to add on to it, it was a huge learning experience. You know, little things like just adding an FAQ with those sorts of questions for like the last month of the event would have made a big difference. Yeah, there's very specific questions that we actually got a few times, like, can I bring my service dog in? So like, if I got that a week before the event, I'm like, I don't remember. So let me ask my coordinator for the KICC, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Eric wants to know if you have a team of college interns again to help this year.
We'll have at least one. Okay. We'll have at least one, maybe more. We'll see. Yeah, but that was also a huge help.
Okay. Keith, what's up? No Wine Cellar representative said, Merry Christmas, Home Gym homies. Merry Christmas, Keith. And this is actually a good question. Jameson said, what were the top 2 struggles of HomeGymCon 2025? How would you address them?
Yeah, so from a very high level, I got some really good feedback from vendors on a like a post-event survey. The biggest issue was loading in, loading out. I think, you know, knowing that it's a gym convention, who with a lot of people bringing in heavy stuff, and there's regulations around driving into the building and those sorts of things. It's never going to be like the cleanest, smoothest thing. You're in and out. But we're making a lot of changes around that. The biggest thing that will help is we actually will have, you know, we have more space, and in the back, we'll have all of the garage doors. Whereas like we were limited to 2 out of the 4 last year, just because of the space we reserved. So that would be the biggest thing. That's a relatively easy fix and just like good to know. It's one of those things that goes with moving into new locations. Like they tell you what to do, but you don't know exactly what to expect. So cleaning up that, we also added another day of setup and another day of the event. So that's number one. Number 2 struggle. Let's see. Let's see. What else? I mean, the taking equipment home, we're going to have that. It's going to be cleaner to take stuff home as well. We're going to try and get some carts for people to take. We're going to break up the loading a little bit more scheduled. But that's the biggest thing is keeping vendors happy, because if the vendors don't come, then people won't come, right? So I think just cleaning up that a lot will help. You know, we obviously want more people. The other thing is just the biggest focus for me is vendor ROI, because there's only like there's a lot of different reasons you go to the event. So there's networking. You get to meet your customers face to face. There's content. All of those are really hard to track as far as like ROI. So making sure they're seeing a return on their investment in terms of like getting rid of their equipment is big. Getting the content they need to help spread the word. Making sure there's enough people there to buy their stuff, like on a QR code. So those things. So there are certain companies that will come year after year after year just because of like the first benefits I made and like the exposure for brand. However, you know, with like tariffs and just the amount of competition there, an easy out for a vendor is just to say, we don't think we're going to sell enough to, you know, send employees and ship the equipment there. So, you know, even though HomeGymCon, the booth prices are like a fraction of the costs of, you know, like a bigger show or a more established show, like, it's more expensive to just get there than paying for your booth space. So just keeping all of those things in mind and making it easier for content to be made, making it easier to load in and load out is just kind of the biggest things. You know, we have like people asking about the future, year 5, and it's more about figuring out how to survive right now, because it is a tough business, and that's kind of the focus. Make little improvements to make everyone's experience a little bit better each year.
I remember you had mentioned that several times to me when you just said you didn't really want. So like every year as we get closer to HomeGymCon, people make suggestions like, oh, you know, pass out flyers locally so you can get more local traffic. And I remember you saying specifically, I don't want a bunch of walk-up people who aren't really invested in this, who just come in because they're bored, because then they're not going to do the things that vendors / exhibitors, whatever, brands have said that they value, which is the feedback. Like I know RitFit told me that they made changes / improvements to several pieces of equipment that they have based upon feedback they got at HomeGymCon. Same thing with Synergy Custom Fitness. They get feedback and they value that. So HomeGymCon is becoming kind of like those auto shows where they have the concept cars. It's like you come, so it's like it's not a car that you can, you could buy it, but it's not like the final version of this car is not going to be what you see here. We're bringing it so that you guys can see the concept and kind of give us feedback on it. And I think that there's a lot of value there. And like the whole thing about, you know, making it easier to buy and then transport stuff, I think still is going to have a place, because there are people who are happy to get a prototype, you know, like, hey, you know, like I've got a rack that nobody else has, or whatever, you know what I mean? And then there's value in that for a brand, because in effect you're beta testing, you know? So you had 1,400 potential beta testers if you took your prototype to this event, and they're going to find whatever's wrong with it, because if you don't say anything, you just let them get on it and try to use whatever this gadget is, somebody's going to do it wrong. And that right there tells you, okay, well, maybe it's not as intuitive as we thought. Maybe it's not as self-explanatory as we thought. You know, and so, and I think that there's a lot of value there for the brands that can see that. So something I never told you, although you know it now because I sent you the questions ahead of time. But something I never told you is that, and I can say it because we're not going to be doing this in 2026, is that I've always liked doing the morning show before HomeGymCon, because I felt like we kind of set the tone. Even though a lot of the people who were at HomeGymCon never saw the show, because they're obviously at HomeGymCon, but there's, you know, so they're asleep, you know, like when the show's on. But I felt like, okay, it's like a positive experience, because the people who are there, who come to the show, like this is their first experience at HomeGymCon, coming to the show, and then, you know, we have vendors there and they get to meet them or whatever, kind of breaking the ice. But then also somebody who's at home, I've had people tell me like they're at home or they're in their hotel room watching it, and they're like, okay, I'm going to go tomorrow and it kind of like sets the tone for the show. And I really like that. But the downside is I also go to bed every Thursday, and to a certain extent, this still happens. Even when I do like the show here at the house, I still go to bed every Thursday, like nervous. Like, is anybody gonna actually show up to watch? Is definitely on the in-person show. Am I going to be the only one in this room? So I took Naomi just so I'd have somebody else. No, I'm just kidding, baby. She's probably still watching. I did not take you just so I'd have somebody else in there with me. But you know what I mean? It's like, especially this past year, man, it was like 4 a.m. and like we're literally walking out the streets of Louisville. It's us and the homeless people going into the convention, and I'm going to the convention center. It's completely dark. You know what I mean? And you've got like this like little small microcosm, and that's why what made me ask you the question about the fear of going to from French Lick, which you kind of knew what to expect, to Louisville, because we're walking in and I'm like, okay, I don't know if anybody's going to actually show up for this event, and it's going to be a video of me standing in an empty room, right? But how far into Friday was it when you were like, oh, this is about to be a big deal? Because you can see the numbers, you can see the floor plan, but until you see 1,400 people in a building and you know that they're there because of this thing you created with help, but that you created, like, it kind of doesn't really hit. So how long did it take on Friday morning before you were like, okay?
I would say I started feeling good about it leaving Thursday night, because most people, they were still like, they were cleaning cardboard boxes up until like the last second. But you could, like, just from like the overhead view from the loft or whatever you call it,
the crow's nest.
The crow's nest.
It
looked legit. I mean, it looked really, really good. So I think going into Friday, I felt pretty good about everything. And, once you start seeing people start like coming in, like, holy crap, like people came to this, like they came from
Japan.
People came from across the country. One of the really cool stats that I have is only 15% of the people that bought tickets were from Kentucky. And, I do see it from like, and I do see it like as the tickets come in throughout the year, you're like, wow, someone's coming from New York. Wow, someone's coming from Washington. Like literally somebody from every state is coming. Or it's really cool because I don't necessarily reach out to many international companies, especially in the early years, to come to the event. But international companies have reached out with interest in coming to HomeGymCon. And it's like, whoa, that's awesome. Side note, for all of the content creators and just like knowing the amount of impact this event has, is like, for example, ATX kind of signed up on a whim for 2024 out of the blue, just reached out and were like, hey, we're interested. And I think pretty quickly after I sent them the info, they were like, we're getting a big booth. We're coming to HomeGymCon. And then the exposure from the content creators, like almost like throughout the next year, and this is just going back to year 2, raised the awareness of ATX throughout the world. It was enough for them to be like, okay, we're going even harder into the next year. And getting people from Japan reaching out, and we got Primal Strength coming this year. There's just like 9 different countries already signed up for next year, which is just like not something I ever expected, even starting the event a couple years back. I think I'm going off of a tangent.
That's okay.
Reel me back in.
All right. So but actually let's just go with that, because I think for me, seeing so many exhibitors from around the world. Like the thing that get me was when Gentlemen's Fitness Club from Japan was going to be there because okay, yes, ATX was there the year before, right? And that was kind of like the trial balloon to me. Okay, that's the international company. And so now it's kind of proof. And I understand why they came, because Marvin, I remember telling me, they're not really that many content creators in Germany, from Germany, who do home gym content. And I only really know of one person. All right. And he says, so basically they look at the US YouTube content creators to find out what's available, right? So he said they came, like one of the reasons why they wanted to come was because it's like, we come here and people back home are going, even because think about it, ATX wasn't even selling in the United States. So like we came here so the people back home would see our stuff in a way that they're not going to see from FIBO. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But their experience was kind of like proof of concept for other companies from other countries to know whether this is worth their while, right? So you and I were at another show earlier in the year, and there's, a company there from Vietnam. So I was like, oh, that's legit. Because when am I going to see, unless I go to Vietnam, when am I going to see that, right? And then Gentleman Fitness Club is going to be at HomeGymCon, and they're from Japan. And I said, okay, things have changed. We've come a long way from, I go back to that first HomeGymCon in French Lick, when we had the first form truck in there inside the room, inside the exhibition hall. And it was kind of like a grassroots kind of feel, right? I said, oh, that's really the thing that hit me. I said, okay, this is now an international event, a legitimate international event. And I think this thing has potential to be bigger than Arnold in terms of significance. Maybe not in terms of crowd size, because I remember you said you wanted to kind of keep it like, I don't want to say intimate, but you know what I mean? Like,
so yeah, let me be clear. I still want a larger crowd.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We're not going to sell out so that, like high school kids are coming. We want to, the overall goal of all of this, when it comes down to it, is to help grow the home gym space. Like that. Like, I don't think there's really too many better ways than to grow this space than HomeGymCon. Like, there's just a lot of different things that this does for the space. Like, it helps motivate others, the companies making the product, because they see their competition. It gives them immediate feedback to get good, to improve their products. A lot of content creators to help spread the word as to, like, this is all the equipment for the home gym space now. So there's a lot of different things that it ultimately does to help improve the industry as a whole. And that's really, I think, why this is successful, because it's everything just like makes sense. It comes down to a home gym just making sense for most people.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't, it's not like the primary place where you work out. It's still convenient to have it because, I mean, yeah, granted, hopefully we never have another COVID lockdown, but I mean, there are snowstorms, there are, kids might get sick. You can't go, or you just got to, whatever. It's just convenient to have some version of a home gym if you're into a fitness lifestyle. Carp said Rogue and ATX in year 2 really helped to blow the doors off. I agree. JB said that GFC, who's that?
Gentleman Fitness Club.
Gentleman Fitness Club. Okay. Said they made enough of a HomeGymCon splash that springboarded them to securing a US distributorship. I was not aware of that with all of the exposure. That makes sense. That does make sense. And yeah, so it just like the US market is actually the largest home gym market. It's got potential to grow internationally, but really we're the ones here in the States who have who pay the most attention to this. Partially because of how our homes are set up. But yeah. Anyway, tell me this. What are some of the most helpful takeaways from HomeGymCon? Because what you talked about earlier was stuff that people said, oh, we need to improve this or fix this. What are some things that you're like, you know what, we need to double down on this because this is working?
Yeah. So I think off the top of my head, double down on time. So we increased the amount of days to help spread it out more for the networking that happens. So we want some dedicated time for networking between vendors. There's a lot of value that they can get just like talking with each other. There's been a number of different partnerships already formed. We're seeing people make collabs, just like in general, better products. It helps out a lot of the smaller companies. So focus on networking. More like we want to make a good experience for everyone coming through. And you don't necessarily, one of the big complaints, not to harp on the complaints, but is the content creators.
So negative, Jake.
The content creators, filming videos, and that's going to continue. Like, the content is part of the ROI. So like really trying to improve the content creator experience as well. So just being really a lot more organized around that. And that helps with the extra time as well. So 3 days, we set aside some hours specifically for content creators. And because we want to really make a unique experience for them, make sure it's worth their trip as well. So that they can get the value out of it. And it's, it's a unique experience where they can meet so many different people and also get a ton of different content. Like you have the ability to get content for months within a weekend's trip. So that would be some things that really want to double down on: networking, giving as much access to networking and content creators, and just like in general, making it worth a week of their time. Like it's really difficult for a lot of these companies to get away for a week, especially if you're a smaller company. Maybe you only have a few staff. You have to leave the office, leave your shop for a full week. So like making sure it's worth it for you to spend that time, and also like weeks preparation for it as well. So that's also why I want to emphasize we don't want less people. We just want to continue to build it the right way.
Yeah, to me, it's like not about having fewer people. It's about having quality people.
Yes. Yeah.
In every way you can imagine that. I mean that. Speaking of quality people, Ashley, shout out to 332. She says good morning. She has moved to Ohio. She's got a farm in Ohio. Congratulations. Says she is as we speak. Yeah, she's driving to Ohio right now with a trailer full of gym equipment.
I saw it. She moved to a farm. I didn't necessarily catch that it was in Ohio. That's awesome.
Yes, I thought it was still because she was in Virginia.
Actually.
I thought because I thought she got a farm in Virginia, but yeah, Ohio's legit. That's awesome. Let's see here, and let's say this. So, let's go ahead and start talking about 2026 now. What can we look forward to seeing in 2026 that maybe you haven't revealed yet? And I'm gonna go ahead. I'll pull up. Hopefully, I'm trying to pull up this map here. Tell me if you can see this.
If you go to the website, HomeGymCon.com, there's a floor map. That's the most up to date one.
Okay, so we'll just go. All right, so let's pull that up. Give me a sec, because I had the one that you sent with the email before, and then Naomi couldn't see it. So let's go right here.
Yeah, floor map.
All right, so there we go. All right. All right, so yeah, go ahead. We can start wherever you want. Just what can we look forward to seeing that we don't know about yet?
Yeah, 2026. I think one of the big things is just continued improvement. So it's going to be more professional. It's going to be I think it's going to be an even better atmosphere immediately when you walk in. As far as like who's coming back, we have 95, 96 companies signed up right now. One of the really refreshing things to see is a lot of companies are coming back with more space, which to me means they see this as a really strong opportunity to present their brand, which shows me that this is working. So yeah, I think it's the layout's going to be better. There's a lot more big booths.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell on the map how large this actually is. And it's hard to like preach how large it is throughout the entire year. Like, I can send this map, but I realize most people don't necessarily, you can't really visualize it. And that's been one of the things growing from year to year to year. You're like, okay, it's going to be a bunch bigger. I'm having a hard time picturing what it's going to look like. But yeah, a lot of really big booths to help with like the spread. Like it's going to be spread really nicely, and it should be a lot of like open room to move. Last year we had the L shape, which was kind of hard to navigate. Certain companies mentioned just if you're in the back of the L, you just didn't get as much foot traffic. Right. So I think a lot of that will be solved this year, and just knowing how many people are coming for multiple days this year is huge. Most of the tickets, this will surely change, but most of the tickets that have been purchased have been by people getting at least 2-3 days. So
okay.
It's it's going to be a really high quality crowd, like we keep harping on. And then I think we have the competition spread out better this year. We're actually shifting Olympic weightlifting up.
Okay.
So
it's going to be up higher.
We're going to shift that up, and I'm not sure if Kurt's listening, but I need to tell him that. Yeah, we're just going to shift it up so that all of the competitions are connected, and there's like the food station is embedded right there as well. So and then I think a lot of the booths will. One thing that we've noticed, and it's really nice talking to somebody who's been there year after year after year. So you can kind of like add to this. But one thing that has been really cool was a lot of the companies that signed up the first couple of years, it was like their first year ever doing an expo. Even last year as well.
Yeah.
So like their booths have steadily but surely gotten more professional. Right. They know the crowd that's coming. They know what type of stuff to bring. So I imagine a lot of the booths will be tailored really strongly to this community. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell from this map, but it's already the amount of yellow space filled here is like 25% larger than what the event looked like last year. So I know you see a lot of like white space. Right. Hopefully we can fill up as much of that as possible, but it will all be consolidated into like a really clean map, and should be a really cool experience for anybody to be there.
So the first thing because I'm an investigative journalist, is I noticed that stealth number 4 is over there. It's not white, which means somebody's got it, but it seems like it and stealth number 1 are companies that are trying to keep a secret that they're going to be there. Is this correct?
So stealth number 4 is a company that kind of just launched, and they should be announcing who that is any day.
Okay. So what about stealth number 1?
And then stealth number 1 is a company that has not been released yet. So they haven't come to market yet. With a lot of companies, it's kind of crazy. And both of these companies were supposed to be there last year, but with the tariffs, they were unable to launch their products. So it's just taken longer to get to the market than expected. But 2 really exciting companies.
But we know that they want to be there. This is like it's just under wraps until, it'll be like we're revealed like so obviously we'll know when we get there, because it's a 3-day event now. But are they planning on like releasing this information about which company it is like the week of, or is it going to be like right down to the wire before we find out who they are?
So stealth number 1, I believe they should be launching Q1 of next year. Okay. So we should be able to there wouldn't be any reason why they would want to not like surprise people like, hey, we're here.
Yeah. That's a bad idea.
Yeah. So I don't even know that company's name. I know kind of what the products they're going to bring to market are, but I don't know exactly. Or maybe they told me, but I can't. Oh, I do remember. Actually, I do remember the company's name.
You can tell us.
I can't.
All right, I tell you what. You can tell me, and I just tell the other 2,000 people not to listen. No, I'm just kidding. So I zoomed in because, well, first of all, I want to say I see the Brute Force Australia, and I remember Kinsey. I don't know if you're watching right now, but if you're watching on replay, that's cool too. Shout out to you. But I will say that the pressure has gone up on your mom because her cinnamon buns were a key part in clinching the deal to get Brute Force Australia to make the trip to HomeGymCon. So Kinsey's mom's cinnamon rolls they're doing some heavy lifting. But what I'm looking at is, in addition to the companies that I'm seeing, first of all, I'm looking at how companies arrange themselves around the Rogue booth. And I was curious. I meant to ask you this last year before HomeGymCon, but to companies, they obviously look at the map and they can see what's available, right? And so they know Rogue is going to be where Rogue is. Is that correct? Or do you just tell them, okay, well, this is the size space you need, and then you kind of like put them there? Like, do they have a choice in where they're positioned in terms of Rogue?
Yeah. So there is a specific order that we do signups. So
okay.
It gets a little bit more complicated each year, but the award winners from last year get first choice. So that's like a perk of winning an award. So you get first choice, and then it moves on to premier sponsors from last year. So like ATX, RIP Fit, Homegrown Lifting, Executive Fit, RIP. Did I say RIP Fit? Yeah. So those companies, that's part of their premium sponsorship package for the year prior. They get kind of second dibs on choices. Okay. And then we did, like, with the amount of larger booth this year, if you allow like a lot of the smaller booths to choose first, then it's really hard to place the larger ones, if that makes sense. It's like 100%. So allowed 1,200 foot booths and larger to go after that. I think there were probably like 4 or 5 of them who picked, and then it's order of sign up. So there is a lot of value in being a return vendor, being able to sign up quickly, and actually signing up quickly. And then we go in order of sign up. So by the time like order of sign up came, this middle bulky area was kind of already chosen, and then you kind of see people form around them, and then we'll see that just kind of continue as like more signups continue. They'll most likely choose the best spot where they think the most foot traffic is going to be, and
I can see that.
Yeah.
So like I'm seeing like, for example, it makes sense that Freedom Strength is up there near the Strongman,
right?
Because they're sandbags, right? So that's a built-in market for people who they're watching the event, they're competing in it. They can just stroll right on over and check out, products that they could use to train for and compete in it. That makes a ton of sense. Same thing with Arm Assassin. They're right there by the grip stuff. That makes sense.
Right.
And then I think it's interesting. This is just me just looking at it. But I think it's interesting, like seeing like brands that are in a certain tier and where they position themselves. So like I look at where Makolo is compared to RitFit. You know what I mean? So like because you would assume if somebody's interested in RitFit, they're probably interested in Makolo as well, in GMWD. So I think that's interesting where they are in terms of that. That's just something that jumped out to me. So one thing that let me hit it right there. If anybody needs to see that map, the link is going to be in the video description if you're watching on replay. And hold Well, I mean, it's there right now, but then, but I can also put it in the live chat. But we've only got a few more minutes with Jake, so I want to make sure we talk about this stuff. You had a thing where you saying, so you said we're at 96, and I think you said that if we get to 100 before January, so we don't have much time left, then you're gonna freeze prices. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's just a little incentive to hopefully try and get some vendors signed up before the end of the year. We're at 96 vendors. If we get to 100, we're locking in ticket prices for until the day of the event. So right now you can get a one-day pass for $32.99, and VIP right now is like $209. You can also get a 3-day pass for, I want to say $89.99 right now. So we'll lock in the ticket prices if we're able to get 100 vendors. Typically, this has been a dead time in terms of like getting new vendors. So that's one reason why I tried to implement that in there. But yeah,
Okay.
Honestly, too, like the ticket prices will only rise a few bucks. It's pretty locked in.
No, because we want people to try to get vendors. They're going to be astronomical if you don't do this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so you guys can go, if you go to HomeGymCon.com, you'll be able to see like the link to buy tickets and all that kind of stuff. But there it is, the link for I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a link. So a 3-day pass is $89.99. But if you want those, and that includes the Friday night dinner giveaways, VIP swag, and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and stop sharing that. So I promised that we would go to the 2026 questions, or the year 5 questions. So I'll go ahead and I'll throw one up there right now. So Eric asked, for year 5, are you planning to be in the same location again? And is it still going to be midsummer, or are you looking at a different date, different location? And I'll add to that, is that dependent on how this year goes?
Yeah, honestly, all of it is dependent on how the next few months go.
Okay.
Like moving, like for example, I like priced out Nashville, and it is like double the price. You know, like if you want to go to a bigger city, it is astronomically more expensive. And you know, it comes down to, again, you have to make that decision like over a year out. And also it probably needs to happen in Q1 of next year. So it really depends on how the next few months go in terms of like, can we fill up this space? Do we need more space? Are enough people going to be there? So yeah, it's really about how invested people get into it. Is it worth looking into new locations? I also really like Louisville.
I do actually too. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So that decisions like that have not been made. Really need to see how the next few months go.
Something I wanted to talk about, I want to make sure we talk about this before I let you go, and that is hotels. So this community, and actually that's not fair. People in general tend to procrastinate, right? And I know in terms of you and how it affects you is you've got to reserve the room block. And if the room block, well, actually, I'll let you explain it. Basically, like what happens if you don't sell out the entire room block? So, and why is it important for people to reserve their hotel room, knowing if you end up not going, you can always cancel if you don't actually end up going. So go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, if you reserve a certain amount of rooms from a hotel, and this is again one of those things that makes it really difficult to move cities, is like, let's say you reserve 500 nights, for example, and you sell 400. You're on the hook for the last 100. Someone's got to pay that difference because they reserved those rooms for you. Right. So,
and keep in mind, so there was a Barbie convention at the same time as HomeGymCon. So the rooms that were reserved for HomeGymCon were not available for them to allow people for the Barbie convention to use. So from the hotel's perspective, they're taking a gamble on you. So go ahead.
Right. It also helps. It also just helps show your value to that city. So that which makes it easier to, book the hotel convention out 18 months in advance or 2 years out in advance. So if you can't prove how many rooms you're going to bring a city, there's very little incentive that they will even allow you to reserve space. So yeah, and you're bringing this up. The hotel stuff was the number one stressor last year, because we did not
figured
we did not hit the numbers. So
Yeah.
this year there is a significantly less amount. There's still, I forget the exact number. There's a significantly less number that we have to hit.
Right.
It's still like there will still be hundreds within the hotel. So the Galt House is our host hotel. We have a room block, and once that number is hit, you can't stay there anymore under the room block. So there is value in reserving your hotel room as soon as you can, just to ensure that you get a room. But there's also quite a bit of value in staying at the Galt House. So it's like a 5-6 minute walk from the event. I just went to Mr. Olympia, and the host hotel was a 25-30 minute walk through the city. So it's a short walk. There's a bar area that everyone kind of collaborates in the evenings. That's also where our VIP dinner is. But this is the spot where you're most likely to run into people in the lobby areas, in the elevator. It's a lot of fun to stay there. I think it's probably you could probably find some cheaper options to stay if you're like really budget conscious, but I do think staying at the Galt House will make the best overall experience, and it's not too much different than the price of some of the other hotels.
So I'll say two things about that. The first thing is that HomeGymCon in general, to your point that you made earlier, is a tremendous opportunity for us specifically, especially because what we do is different from what we do. Some things that other content creators do, but a lot of what we offer and try to do is different. So it's very important for us to be able to get like face-to-face interaction with people, so we can say, hey, this is what we're trying to do, and give them an opportunity if they want to, be a part of it, right? But so in general, that was great. HomeGymCon itself was great for that. We got a lot of awesome contacts and a lot of awesome projects and opportunities happen because of HomeGymCon. Then, more specifically, the Galt House, we ran into people. So like I had Center on here, and that happened directly because I was at the at the Galt House, and with Don from Addicts Club, and we're like, walking into there, and I see a man from Brazil. I forgot his name. Anyway, he was sitting in the lobby, and I remembered, and I saw him, and I recognized him. I said, "Oh, you're from Brazil," because I remember he had said something about being at HomeGymCon, and I met him there, and that led to us having the opportunity. So he came on the show, and then I had the opportunity to, he called me, or WhatsApp me later on and was like, "Hey, would you like to have Center on your show?" And I would not have had an opportunity to have them on the show had it not been for that. So it was like, Daniel Forster. That's right. So it was like a trickle down effect that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been at the Galt House, because I walked right past him. And when am I ever? I've never been to Brazil. I may go, but I've never been there. When else would I have walked past the only content creator from Brazil who I know who's in the home gym space, right? And so there is if you do content creation for YouTube, or you even think you might do it, to me, the Galt House staying there is an investment. And it's not like you don't have until the end of July to save up your money to be able to pay, for it because they don't charge you till you leave it. So there's that. And as you said, it kind of affects you and your ability to put on a good event. So let's see here. Oh, okay. So JB said a side point is staying at the Gold House made it easier when buying, selling equipment from other attendees because they're all at so like the little secondary shadow market of HomeGymCon's buy sales. So they're all in the same place. So yes, there's there. And Eric said he and Jameson split a room the first year. Some people should reach out to try and save some costs because you're only in the room for like 4 hours a day anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And also because we went out to eat. I think you guys did also after all the VIP stuff. You went out and just kind of hung out in Louisville. And so it's easy to get to other things. So to me, there are a lot of advantages.
Yeah, it's cool too. Like they had the conservatory bar is right there too. And there will be hundreds of people in there that were at the event earlier, whether you drink or not. It's a cool place to just go and hang out. There'll be vendors, there'll be, other attendees, more content creators will be there. So it's just fun to be there. And you can go there whether you stay there or not, but it's just easier access
Yeah. I mean, even the PRX thing. So I had interviewed Brian from PRX years ago. When they only been in business as PRX for a little bit when I interviewed them, but we kind of lost touch. Me and I didn't have a contact there. So when Justin became president, one of the things is like, we kind of like reconnected because of home. I seen him at HFA, but I mean, like it kind of like being, oh yeah, let's do this, right? Anchor, the relationships that we were able to set up with Mike from Anchor happened because of HomeGymCon and running into people again at the Gold House. So I just think that it's a great opportunity. JB, last few questions, and I'll let you get out of here. JB wants to know if there's a cutoff for the number of VIP tickets that are being sold.
Yeah, we've sold about 120 out of 150.
Okay. Oh, so hey, you better get on it. There's only 30 left. So
I think there's like 34 left, maybe 33 left.
There's only 30 left. I'm trying to build urgency, Jake. Help me help you.
I was rounding up. So
okay, yeah. But no. So seriously, don't wait. Go reserve your room at the Gold House. Buy your VIP ticket if you're going to HomeGymCon, or if you even think you're going, buy it. And Eric wants to know how many tickets have been sold.
Ooh, that's always a tough one to say out loud because like 80% by the last month.
Last minute, yes. 100%.
But I will say
not enough. Not enough.
We sold as many in the first 28 hours as we did in the first 6 months of last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's definitely growing. Rex is one of the highlights of HomeGymCon. All right. Seriously. He's so encouraging. Like, that's just a cool dude. He said, home gyms have become big business and HomeGymCon will continue to grow, but Louisville has sort of a HomeGymCon feel to me. And I echo that. Like, I didn't anticipate it because I was like, oh man, I miss French Lick. But now I went to go Louisville. I'm like, oh, okay. I see it. I can see the possibilities. I see the, the more options. So let's see here. And I want to say, this is a good thing. It's like anything that has people is going to have some interpersonal relationship stuff, aka drama on some level. But I have to commend you in that although there have been plenty of opportunities for conflict, I haven't seen conflict. HomeGymCon has always felt like a safe space. And I mean, I'm not conflict averse, but you know what I'm saying? It's like it feels like, you want to go here, enjoy the thing that you're really passionate about and get away from drama. Right. And HomeGymCon has always felt like that for me. Naomi and I said, that we think it's because in part that we kind of all know each other on some level. And it's funny when I see the brands who are there and I had some brands tell me this, like when it was their first year this past year. And they're like, it feels like high school where everybody kind of already knows each other and there's like cliques or tribes or whatever. But I think it's a good way because there may be tribes of people, but it's never tribal It's not like, we won't talk to you. It's just, these are the people who kind of fit my vibe. We like the same kind of food, so we're all going to go eat the same kind of food at the same time. And I really like that you've kind of created that, because that kind of stuff, tone setting like that, starts at the top. You've already always made it like everybody not only is welcomed, but they feel welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that, and I hope we never lose that.
It's been really cool, because like surely like these companies are competing against each other.
Yeah.
They all seem to like be friendly. They get along.
Yeah.
I do think, like, when it all comes down to it, I've said this in the past, but home gym just makes sense for so many people that already don't own a home gym. And the biggest competitors aren't necessarily each other. It really is just like the biggest opportunity is growing this space as a whole.
Right.
And I think
that blue ocean thing.
Yeah, the blue ocean idea is
blue ocean strategy. Yeah,
it's one of the most influential books I've ever read.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it all just comes down to that. And I think as long as people, there is drama, like, especially when it comes to like the copycats and stuff like that. And most of the people who are like just blatantly ripping off other companies, they don't come to HomeGymCon because they're not like there to grow their company the right way.
Yeah.
So I think it all comes down to like just grow. HomeGymCon is one of the best ways to help grow this community as a whole, which will ultimately help everybody that goes to something like this event.
So Kurt, I don't know if you were watching the entire time, but Jake had something he needs to let you know. He told us earlier. So if you weren't watching from the beginning, you need to rewind. But he said HomeGymCon is magical and wouldn't be the same without Jake at the helm, and I agree with that. Ashley says, from year one, it has been such a warm space. Hey, right there, Ashley, somebody I would never have met. We've ended up working together a bunch of times. Never would have met her if not for HomeGymCon. So that's it. JB said the rising tide raises all ships, and HomeGymCon is the tide. So with all that, where can people? I totally forgot to tune in earlier. Well,
it's not that big of a deal.
You're a senior. No, Jay, your entire life is about to change. You need to rewind and watch, or you'll never know how. Yeah, but as we close, man, where can people go? I've kind of been like putting it up on screen, but let them know where the best place is to go to catch up with HomeGymCon news. Is it signing up for the newsletter? Is it the following HomeGymCon on Instagram or whatever? And you've also got a HomeGymCon Facebook group. I found that out like 3 days ago. So just let people know where the best place is to go to get like kind of connected with everything HomeGymCon.
Yeah, I think number one, follow on Instagram. That's where a lot of the updates will happen. It's one of those things where, it's happens once a year. So many of the updates, it's not like right now we have too many updates, but follow along on Instagram. If you go to the website, you can sign up for the HomeGymCon newsletter. That will ramp up quite a bit as we get closer to the event. I'll also, like all ticket purchasers, I'll make sure to email all of them with certain updates you need. Once we get closer to the event, we want to make all of the instructions crystal clear as far as like if you're staying here, or like the entrance and schedule. And so a lot of those things will be built out closer to the event. So if you subscribe to the email, we'll make sure you know what's happening. And then also the sooner you sign up for tickets, you'll start hearing from me about specifics. But yeah, that's a big focus this year to make sure it's very easy for somebody who's never been to Louisville. They know exactly where to go and when they can get into the show and stuff like that, and what's also around. So newsletter and Instagram.
All right, no problem. All right, man. And I will also add, you guys Jake is actually doing something. I like to be really innovative, but I also recognize when people are doing things that are really, really cool and that we need more of. And I love how you have set up Garage Gym Radio to again be a collaborative thing. So I want to encourage everybody. The actual link, if you just go to this video's description on YouTube, you can just click it. But if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, you can just go to Garage Gym Radio at Garage Gym Radio on YouTube and subscribe and check out all of the great stuff he's got there. He's got multiple podcast hosts. So depending on what your vibe is, what you're into, you can check out all or maybe one or like everything they put out. You know, that's what you need to do. Just watch everything they put out, but it's a lot of great content. And so check out don't just check it out. Subscribe to at Garage Gym Radio on YouTube as well. Jake, man, I appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to have you back on, man. You have you're on a short list of people who have an open invite. Like you could literally, this may not be smart. Oh well, you could schedule yourself with that link I sent you, and if I woke up and saw you had scheduled yourself to be on the show, all I would say is, "Hey, what do you want to talk about?" And I wouldn't even like freak out. There are other people. If I've not said that to you and you're watching this, you're not on that list. So let's make sure we talk before you schedule yourself on my show. Let's have a conversation. I ain't saying you can't come on. I'm just saying don't just schedule yourself. All right, Jake and I have done this enough times. Well, we've done this enough times that I kind of know like what's going to happen. You know, there are other people who are a little bit more dynamic in terms of what they may want to talk about. So yeah. All right, man. You have a good day, dude. Right. And have a good holiday, man.
You too.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, man. Later.
Thanks, man.
All right. That was my dude, Jake Jaworski, man. That guy is, like I said, he's very humble and yet he's a pioneer who has completely, and I mean literally completely changed the home gym community. In some respects, you can even say he changed the world, because I remember when I started my home gym in 2001 and there was nothing like HomeGymCon. So it's taken me, so this was year 3. So 20 years to get to the point where something like HomeGymCon, which I really needed in the beginning, 20 years to get to the point where it was available. So as we close out, I want to tell you guys this, a couple things that I learned just over the course of this past year. As a brand, I learned to not be afraid to take bold swings. HFA, the Red Fit showroom, doing a live in-person show, all those were things that just confirmed that and even this conversation I just had with Jake, it's important for me as a content creator to not be afraid to take bold swings, and to try things. As a content creator, and I know some of you guys have just started doing this, but as a content creator, I would say that I believe we've hit a tipping point with product review videos. I could be wrong, but I believe that the channels that will thrive, I'm not saying that if you do product reviews that you can't grow. Okay. What I'm saying is that there's a limiter if that's what you do and that's all you do. I believe the channels that will thrive the most will be the ones that can give innovative content that focuses on more than just equipment. And I say that because I'm seeing an uptick as other content creators are realizing this, I'm seeing an uptick in more vlog style content from home-based fitness channels, and it's successful. So I'm seeing these vlog style videos. A lot of people are watching them. So I know that there's a market for it. I'm seeing more creators like Tim Stewart from Gym Crafter branch out to add. So Tim is actually adding a separate channel where it's going to focus on workout content and leave Gym Crafter to be like the product review site or channel. But I think that there's more space for that kind of stuff, like this more workout content focused. And you even got established channels like Juji Mufu, Mark Bell Super Training. They're starting to give more attention to workout tips aimed at lifters who train at home, as opposed to just workout tips. And then you kind of got to like figure it out and try to adapt it if you train at home, if that makes sense. to me, if you're a coach who's operating out of a home gym, this is a prime opportunity to start creating content, because the wave of people who started home gyms because of COVID lockdown are reaching the point where they don't want to just watch reviews. And some of them want more than what they could get from fitness apps. So you're reaching a point where that audience for you, the audience for you is expanding. So that's just something that I think that's a thing that I think you guys should if you're in the content creation and you're doing it at all, I'm just saying that that's something that I noticed, is something I believe, and I encourage you, because I want you guys to be successful. I encourage you guys to kind of like, don't feel like you got to just make product review videos. Okay. So there's that. Yeah, I'm aware. So Mike from Hybrid Resistance, he's another one. Yeah, he's got a channel dedicated to being over 40 and training. Yes, it is. Mike has good content in general. So yeah. Kurt, Ashley, you talking about the farm? We did talk about the farm, that she moved into a farm, and I'm waiting for her. I can't wait to see what it looks like when she's got all the. So not only she got the equipment that was in her garage, but she's also got all the equipment that was in storage. And she said she's driving with like a truckload of gym equipment right now. So I can't wait to see what the finished product looks like. Let's see, make sure I'm all caught up. Okay. So that's it for today's show. Thank you to my guest, Jake Jaworski. Shout out to my wife once again for this cool microphone. It's giving y'all much better sound than my previous one. But shout out to my guest, Jake Jaworski, for joining us, getting us all excited for HomeGymCon 2026. Next week, we have got Ari Kimmelfeld returning. So you guys might remember Ari from our May episode when he first learned about his brand, Trade My Stuff, and they sell not just Peloton, but primarily they started to buy and sell gently used Pelotons, right, in a way that's more effective than Facebook Marketplace. And it was so successful that Peloton basically adopted his business model. Prior to that, they weren't trying to get it. They weren't trying to do the used Peloton thing. And now you see Peloton is doing it, and they literally adopted Ari's business model to a certain extent. So they have Trade My Stuff has now rebranded as Commonplace. And I'm excited to hear from Ari next week about how his business continues to disrupt the exercise equipment market. For those of you who are content creators, you get product and then you have to unload it somehow so that you can make room for the next round of products that you're going to be reviewing. You always got to find somewhere to sell that stuff. You may want to bookmark commonplace.com if you get like cardio specific equipment, because that may be an option for you. So make sure you're here next week, and Ari will tell you guys about his business and what he does. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Anyway, till next week, make sure you guys keep on sharing our channel link to help us grow. And most of all, keep on stacking days. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next year. Peace out.